Friday, presented by McDonald's. And Elite Pyrotechnics will light up the sky post-game with an amazing fireworks show. Presented by McDonald's, and as you leave the ballpark, you get a voucher for a free value meal at Northern Kentucky McDonald's location. It's also Star Wars night as we lead off our annual Builders Weekend. Thanks to Loki Love, they are here with us tonight. That's the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Lego user group. They're with us for the entirety of the Gordon homestand. And amazing creations. If you haven't seen those yet, you'll notice they're set up all along the concourse. The match coming up in just a minute. We'll have them for our start on the first pitches. But first, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups. First up, the visit Gateway Grizzlies is leading off. And playing shortstop, Rick Sakurai. Batting in the 2 slot for Gateway. Center fielder Sean Dustin Jr. Batting third and second base, Andrew Daniel. The cleanup hitter for the Grizzlies is first baseman James Smart. And batting fifth, designated hitter Matt Brown. Batting sixth at third base, Connor Owens. Batting seventh in right field, Luke Lowry, and Zach Taylor is the catcher. He is down the eight. The 9-hitter for Gateway, left fielder Tyler Blanchard. And tonight's starting pitcher for the Grizzlies, right-hander Lucas Landry. And let's look time for Robert Eisner from the Olympics Crisis Center. Next up, fans, we celebrate birthday number 6 with us here at the ballpark. Let's put your hands together for the birthday boy, Zach Florence. Next up, freedom fans. From Crossroads Community Pastor, let's hear for Alvon Henderson. All right, and we got another birthday with us here at the ballpark. Please welcome to the mound, celebrating birthday number 8, and Stout. Let's see, young man, happy birthday. And last, but certainly not least, let's welcome to the mound for Raiden Smith. All right, and let's hear it for all of our ceremonial first pitchers.
Take this, Mixler. What's up, Freedom fans, and welcome inside UC Health Stadium. It's going to be a dry voice broadcast, but hey, at least you've got the webcam to see a little bit of the action today. And as you can see, a cloudy, very gray, very dark day here at UC Health Stadium, but it has been nothing but sunshine for the Florence Freedom of late. Hot off the press. A 3-game series victory over the River City Rascals, taking 2 games to River City's 1. And playing some of the best baseball you'll see in the Frontier League right now are your Florence Freedom, who entered tonight's opener with the Gateway Grizzlies, 22-12 on the season, 10 games above 500, but still no breathing room in the West Division standings. The Southern Illinois Miners at 22-12, right there at the top of the division, with the Freedom having won 8 straight games. But hey, Rob, as we bring you into the broadcast here, not much like seeing so much company in the West Division playing as good a baseball as the Florence Freedom have been of late. But when you look down and see Southern Illinois has won 8 games in a row and they're not even alone in first place in the West, that tells you just how good the Freedom have been playing of late.
Yeah, especially if you look at Gateway, too, who's in last place in the West Division. They're 15-20. They're still 7.5 back. They're still close, too. You know, they can still fight for a spot later on in the season. We're not even to the All-Star break yet. So it's going to be interesting to see this series play out, because Freedom, they had a chance at really digging in deep on the East Division opponents, and it's going to show. I mean, this team has been dominant against the East Division. They're 12-5, and they're 10-7 versus West Division opponents, and 3 of those wins already on a sweep early on in the year against Gateway.
And improving to 4-2 on the season against the River City Rascals, a team Dennis Pelfrey, the Freedom manager, said on episode 1 of his coach's show, a team he expected to potentially see his Freedom in the Frontier League Championship Series. There's no question, at least early in the season here. Of course, we're rapidly approaching the halfway point of the season. It certainly does appear the West Division might put 2 teams in the championship. A lot of baseball still to be played, but seeing how the Freedom have fared well against River City, they split a series with the Southern Illinois Miners, 1 rainout on Sunday. They've played good baseball against the West Division foes, and they have certainly bloodied and beaten the teams in the East.
No, absolutely. But I kind of want to go back to a little bit how important it is to have Andre Mercurio back in the lineup for the Freedom here in 2019, because, you know, he had that injury issue. He spent a couple days, a long time actually, on the DL. So he's back here. He's stronger than ever. And it all goes back once again to the River City series. That was such a huge series. Losing the first game, you know, you never like to lose the first game, because then you know you have to win too. Well, it was rained out the next day, so they played a doubleheader. 2 7-inning games. Well, the first one went to extras, and wow, what a great game. And then they just come right back and win again 5-2. So that was so important. Great momentum shift, especially coming back from Missouri. Long travel.
Yeah, I do intend to talk plenty about the two games we witnessed yesterday, as they were two of the greatest games nobody got to hear. And again, Freedom fans could not be more sorry for failing to be able to broadcast yesterday from O'Fallon, Missouri. Again, our online streaming provider, Mixlr, has just crashed over the last 3 days. It's actually very fortunate the Freedom were rained out in that middle game, because that's when the Mixlr issues really started to take effect. They're still locking out users from starting new broadcasts, so we had to scramble to find a way to broadcast today between the Freedom and the Gateway Grizzlies. There will not be commercial spots. As we mentioned, there will not be any cool bump music in and out of innings. There won't even be commercial breaks. We'll just probably get quiet for a certain period of time just to try to save our voices a little bit. You'll have the crowd audio, but we will be broadcasting baseball today. But let's go back to that River City series and the games that nobody heard yesterday. Maybe a couple of the very best games the Freedom have played all season.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Freedom fans didn't miss much besides Dennis Pelfrey's first ejection of the season.
Yeah.
A pair of victories, which is always important. A couple of late rallies using tremendous offense. Again, the Freedom finding themselves down to their last strike, 2 outs in the 7th inning when Austin Wobrock got the RBI single to tie the game at 2. Then you have a bases loaded, nobody out situation in the bottom of the 7th. Gateway, a wild pitch, a pass ball, a fly ball, heck, even a ground ball where the Freedom can't turn 2 would have won the River City Rascals the middle game, gave them the series. But Carl Craigie, after seeing the bases get loaded with nobody out, digs deep, strikes out the side. At that point, all momentum with the Florence Freedom, and they did exactly what you would expect them to do. They came right back out in the top of the 8th inning, got a base hit from Reichenborn to start the frame, and wouldn't you know it, an RBI knot from Andre Mercurio, a bases clearing double from Ricky Ramirez Jr., who continues to hit the cover off the baseball. The Freedom plate 3 runs, jump ahead 5-2, and ultimately win that game, setting up the chance to take the series in the finale later.
Yeah, and I think you can agree with me when I say this too. Just as a collective unit, how they've molded together. You know, one guy starts to fall, the other picks him up. You know, with Mercurio, like you said, hey, Craigie, I got you. You just did something for us. I'm going to do something for you. Here we go. You know, and then they just score 3 in the 8th inning to really put them ahead. So, but Carl Craigie really has gotten into a zone. That bullpen ERA for the Freedom down to a 3.09. He's a crafty lefty. You know, he's really digging deep. He has a .66 ERA. It was kind of spiked early on in the season, but he has really dialed in 14 games of relief in 13 2/3 innings pitched. He's only allowed 9 hits, and he struck out 17 batters. Opponents are only batting .191 against him.
Yeah, he was absolutely lights out. If there's only one positive to not being able to broadcast yesterday, it was the very colorful language, again, right below the crowd mic, kind of a staple tradition in River City. The same fan always sits right below the opposing broadcaster, and there was plenty of colorful language, and the Rascals could not plate 1 run after getting the bases loaded and nobody out. But again, super sorry for not being able to deliver on my end to bring you the call of the action yesterday. 2 great, epic Freedom victories that have pushed them to 22-12 on the season, 10 games above 500, still at the top of the West Division standings, but with some company as the Miners have won 8 straight and enter tonight with a matching 22-12 record. So we talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. Of course, the finale with the River City Rascals, another 5-2 victory, more late heroics offensively for the Freedom, who did total 17 hits, scoring 10 runs in yesterday's double dip. The offense taking their turn to carry the load, helping out a pitching staff that saw both wins go to relievers. Quality start was delivered by Dan Williams. Zach Spivey looked good, battled, only allowed 3 hits in his first professional start, but the Freedom would get both wins in relief. So as we kind of put the finishing touches on that part of what's happened recently with the Freedom, let's take a look at what they have facing them tonight. The last place team in the West Division, the Gateway Grizzlies, at 15-20 on the field tonight with the Freedom. This is a team the Freedom swept at GCS Credit Union Ballpark a couple of weeks ago. The first 4-game series of the season for the Freedom, and I think they're looking to sweep yet again here tonight and moving on the rest of the weekend, Rob.
No, absolutely. As you said, they swept them. And going back to the starting pitcher for tonight is Lucas Lamphere for the Grizzlies. They lost 3-4 when he was pitching because, who do you know, Taylor Bryant hit a grand salami. So that was when we kind of swept. That really solidified that series in our favor. You know, just too much momentum being over there in Gateway. But now they're at our ballpark. They're at our house. And we have a good pitcher for us in Mike Castellani. Castellani, 4 quality starts in 2019 already. He's 5th in the Frontier League in ERA at 2.16.
Yeah, he has been lights out. Each of his last 2 starts, he has spanned 8 frames. He's allowed just 1 run in those 16 innings. And his last time out, he didn't allow any. 8 shutout frames on his way to his 4th win of the season. Castellani entering tonight at 4-1 with a microscopic 2.16 ERA for a starting pitcher. That has him in the top 5 in all of the Frontier League. He'll be opposed by the right-hander Lucas Lanphier, who's his good stuff, tremendous. His bad stuff, not so much. We'll pause quickly for the national anthem. First pitch to follow.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does our spangled banner yet wave? For the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And cue the rain.
Oh, no.
Right at the end of the national anthem, rain starting to fall on UC Health Stadium. It's not like we've seen any of that over the last couple of weeks here in Florence, Kentucky. But we will play baseball. We expect to get this game in. It will be a single 9-inning game between your Florence Freedom, the first-place team in the West Division, and the Gateway Grizzlies, who are in the cellar in the West at 15-20, your Freedom at 22-12. And as we mentioned quickly going into the national anthem, a guy who is making claims to be the ace of the Freedom pitching staff, as all 5 starters for the Freedom have been this season. Mike Castellani towing the slab to face the following batting order for the Gateway Grizzlies.
Yeah, and that'll be Brent Sakurai, who plays shortstop. He's going to be leading off, followed by Sean Dunston Jr. You mentioned this earlier. His father played professional baseball, so that's pretty cool. Major leaguer, that's pretty cool. He's going to be playing center field, followed by number 9, Andrew Daniel, playing second base, and Jamie Smart batting cleanup, playing first for the Grizzlies, followed by Matt Brown, a designated hitter, Connor Owings at third, Luke Lowry in right field. Not the football coach from Friday Night Lights, but the catcher. That's going to be Zach Taylor batting 8th, and then followed by Tyler Plantier in left field, who they just signed. So it's going to be interesting to see this Grizzlies lineup face against Mike Castellani.
The pitcher the Freedom will see in the bottom of the first inning is a right-hander by the name of Lucas Lanphier. As I was able to quickly say going into the anthem, Lucas Lanphier at his best is incredible. He actually took a no-hitter 8 2/3 innings at one point this season. That was back on June 8th against the Windy City Thunderbolts. He would lose that no-hitter 1 out away from no-hit history, but would take home Frontier League Pitcher of the Week after that performance. But his lows have been incredibly low. He's allowed 11 earned runs in a start this season. In fact, that start was the one right before his no-hit bid. So he's a little bit all over the map, a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde pitcher, but this Freedom offense is, well, talented and certainly rolling right now on no shortage of confidence. Fresh off plating 10 runs on 17 hits and a pair of wins yesterday over the River City Rascals that gave the Freedom their 7th series victory of the season. With that, stepping in the box right now, the speedy leadoff hitter for the Gateway Grizzlies, the shortstop, Brent Sakurai. Gateway in their powder blue tops, gray pants, the Freedom rocking their pearly home white uniforms, red Freedom and block lettering across the chest, white hats, and the lefty Mike Castellani will deliver a first pitch fastball, you betcha, on the inside corner at the knees for a called strike by home plate umpire Joe Harris, whose partner will be Scott Wyckoff on the bases. Sakurai hits from the right side, all the way back in the box, facing Castellani. The 0-1 pitch, swinged and foul tip towards third. Rolling in foul ground towards Phil Warren. In the Gateway Grizzlies third base coach's box, Castellani quickly ahead 0-2.
Cassie's going to fill up the zone a lot here early on in this game. He has 22 strikeouts on the season compared to 7 walks, so that's about a 3-to-1 ratio, which is very, very good. Loves to pitch at contact and also got his season high in strikeouts last time out.
The 0-2 waste pitch, a fastball that's going to miss well outside in the left-handed batter's box. Mike Galino shading over to squeeze it as the count moves to 1-2. You did mention it. Mike Castellani actually matching his season high in strikeouts his last start with 5, but he's gotten those 5 strikeouts in back-to-back starts, so he's starting to build in that category. 1-1's going to miss above the belt. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sakurai, who is hitting .301 on the season. He is the only everyday player for the Gateway Grizzlies to be above the 300 mark in the batting order. Of course, Jamie Smart would like to beg to differ. He's at 299. Breaking ball, foul tipped off Sakurai in the box. Galino will squeeze, but it's a foul ball, and the count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. A look defensively at the Florence Freedom behind their southpaw starter Mike Castellani. From left to right in the outfield, Isaac Bernard, Tyler Reichenborn in center, and Ricky Ramirez Jr. healthy enough with that sore ankle to get back to his customary stomping grounds in right field. Rest of the look defensively after this 2-2 pitch. A fastball that's going to miss outside for ball 3. Now the count runs full on the leadoff hitter Sakurai, who's done a good job working the count. And the first batter of the game. But to finish the alignment for the Freedom, the double play duo up the middle, Austin Wobrock and Caleb Lopez on the corners of the infield. Luis Pintor at third, Connor Crane at first. And Mike Galino doing the catching. Payoff pitch, foul tipped, and sent slowly rolling towards the third base dugout. Occupied by the Gateway Grizzlies. He'll see another payoff pitch in a 3-2 count. Just underway in the top of the first, scoreless. Nobody out, and the leadoff hitter battling Mike Castellani in a full count. The lefty lowers the hands to the ready, always working from the stretch, and the payoff. That ball is lifted in the air, shallow right field, twisting towards the seats. Connor Crane will give chase, but he'll run out of real estate. Watch this bounce towards the loge tables, ending up in the Maker's Mark party patio. That is a happening place down the right field line with some of the rain starting to fall in UC Health Stadium. Everybody trying to run for cover over there. Along at bat continues. And here's another 3-2 from Castellani. Fastball, and again, fouled off, foul out of play. The pesky Sakurai showing plenty of fight here in the top of the first.
Yeah, Cassie's going to want to throw inside. He's been doing that the past 3 pitches, throwing inside on Sakurai. Doesn't want to give a leadoff walk. Wants to go right after him here.
Lefty deals another payoff. Fouled off again.
Wow.
Sakurai. Is that 19 or 20 foul balls so far in this bat, Rob?
That is 6 foul balls so far. So,
okay.
Yeah, just staying inside out, but Castellani not switching his tempo or anything like that, just working inside out on the plate, doing a great job so far. Hopefully he can get Sakurai.
Another 3-2 on the way from the lefty. Fastball, this is a fair ball. It's rolled on the ground to short. Wobrock plays it on a backhand and a long throw across the diamond in plenty of time, 6-3. And Mike Castellani wins the war. It was an epic battle, but the lefty wins out number 1, and here comes Sean Dunston Jr.
Well, you've mentioned time and time again how if pitchers fall behind the counts or the counts get worked to about 11, 12 pitches, most of the time it's going to go in the hitter's favor. But that doesn't go to show with Castellani just pitching to contact, doing what he does best, throwing strikes, filling up the zone, and trusting your defense.
Sean Dunston hits from the left side. He's a junior. His father with the same name, a major leaguer, formerly with the Cleveland Indians. First pitch fastball at 85 is going to miss at the shoe tops for ball 1 to Dunston, who got off to an incredible start offensively in this season, was hitting over 330 a couple weeks into the season, but has now seen his batting average fall to 273, slumping of late at the plate. Turns, hits a high, towering drive deep into right field. Ricky gives chase. He's at the warning trap, up against the wall. He'll haul it in. A bit of a scare and a long fly, but out number 2 in the top of the first.
No, it really was, too, especially with the way the ball travels here at UC Health Stadium and the way Cassie pitches. Like we said, he pitches to contact. He's going to get ball outs and fly ball outs, but Ricky kind of paused for a moment, and that kind of worried me there. But it just floated right into his glove, and couldn't be happier.
2 quick outs for the southpaw, who now stares in at Andrew Daniel, second baseman, who had a good series offensively against the Freedom at the Grizzlies' home ballpark. First pitch fastball, this one at 88 from the lefty, and it's on the inside edge for a called strike. Lonnie's ahead of another hitter, just pounding the strike zone here in his first frame. Lefty set up above the belt, and the 0-1. Good disappearing changeup, swung on and missed. The righty Daniel behind 0-2.
Oh, baby. I'll tell you one thing right now. If he can master that changeup once again, working outside, breaking away from a right-handed batter, that's going to be the nastiest pitch here tonight for sure.
Lonnie always on the first base side of the rubber from the stretch. Here's the 0-2 to Daniel. Breaking ball at 80 is going to miss down and away. Not a bad 2-strike pitch, but Daniel able to lay off for the first ball of the sequence. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the 3-hole hitter. And Castellani comes to a very quick consensus with his catcher, Mike Galino, who sets up in. 1-2 is in, fouled off the screen. And a nice play by the man waiting on deck in Jamie Smart. Barehanded it off the netting.
I'll tell you what, though, I get like a 1990s vibe with the Blue Jays, almost looking at their jerseys.
Powder blues?
Powder
Sure.
blue with the white number outlined in dark blue. Actually looks pretty clean, not going to lie.
1-2 inside and swung on foul tip. Galino thought it might have been strike 3.
Oh, it was strike 3.
Or was it strike 3? No effort at all from Andrew Daniel to try to leg this one out at first base. Had me thinking that he fouled it off. But not the case. Mike Castellani has his first strikeout of the night, and that is a 1-2-3, top half of the first. Freedom will come to the plate looking for the game's first run, sending Bernard, Reichenborn, Ramirez to the dish. Bottom 1 from UC Health Stadium.
Thanks for joining us, Freedom fans. Let's welcome back to the dugout top, our own Delta over on the third base side. And Uncle Sam working his way in from the outfield on back to that Kawasaki goal from Colin Powerscourt. Uncle Sam has a particular set of skills, as you'll notice. Very talented when it comes to juggling. He's all-star. Do you have any second skills? Nice, very nice all-star. That's the best in the business, Freedom fans. Let's give it up to the all-star and Uncle Sam. We are around the park with Rowan Family McDonald's this year. $2 of every McDonald's. We got a big ticket purchase goes back to the bed at the Ronald McDonald House in Cincinnati, and you can see $2 for a free value meal from McDonald's. Leading off for your Freedom left fielder, Isaac Bernard, presented by BRG Apartments.
Back to the action here at UC Health Stadium, bottom of the first, and the Freedom sending Isaac Bernard, their trusty leadoff hitter, to the dish to face Lucas Landfear, the right-handed pitcher for the Gateway Grizzlies, who entered tonight 1-3 on the season with a 7.67 ERA. The righties into the windup, and a first pitch fastball will just miss off the outside edge. A good take from Isaac Bernard, who jumps ahead 1-0. Feels like Isaac has been in rare form offensively for the last month or so. Fastball is going to find the outside edge to even the count at 1-1. Certainly starting to supply more power at the plate.
Yeah.
Does have 3 round trippers, narrowly missed his 4th. If not for that monstrous wall in right field in O'Fallon, Missouri, he would have 4 home runs on the season. Here's a fastball, swung on, hit high in the air, into left field. This is towards the line, and it's going to fall 1 hop into the grassy berm. 1-2 now the count on Bernard, as it was the recently signed Tyler Plantier giving chase in left field for Gateway, but couldn't get there in time to squeeze it.
I'll tell you what, though, Bernard, his season best for his hitting streak was 6 games, and it could have been 6 games again if not for his pinch hit out there in that middle game of the series against River City. So he's still a very dangerous hitter. In the second game, he actually went 1 for 4. So Pelfrey loves him in that leadoff spot. We haven't seen him really bat anywhere else. Very comfortable. See if he can do something here with 2 strikes.
His 18 RBIs are second most for the Freedom. Here's a bullet up the gut, through into center field, a leadoff single, and a good start for the Freedom in their first at bat. The leader is aboard on a sharply hit BB to center to bring up Tyler Reichenborn, who has been hitting everything hard since he's joined the Florence Freedom. And that certainly was the case yesterday in a pair of games. It was Reichenborn's triple in the 6th inning that gave the Freedom life, as they would ultimately pull away, win a second consecutive game 5-2 over the River City Rascals. And in both those late rallies, the Freedom would take their final lead. It was Reichenborn who led off the frame with a base knock to start the mojo. First order of business for Landfears to throw behind Bernard at first base, but Isaac didn't need a slide. He was back in plenty of time.
It's going to be interesting, though, if he does take off, if he's going to realize that it was raining pretty heavily for about a minute, so that turf might be wet.
Now seeing Landfear from the stretch, a fastball is going to find the inside edge. 0-1. The count to Reichenborn, who is making his 8th start for the Freedom tonight. And what kind of a start he's off to? 348 with the batting average, 4 RBIs. Hit the ground running in his first pro season.
Yeah.
Bernard takes off on the 0-1. Fastball misses up. Hose to second is not going to be in time. A nice slide by Bernard, who was careful not to overslide the bag. Kept his fingers on the back corner of the base. And the Freedom, who steal bases better than anybody in the Frontier League, have one more to add to the pile as Bernard's now in scoring position with nobody out.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. That's number 62 in the season now. Like you said, they are in first place. That's one thing that we've talked to everyone, it almost seems like, in the press box or in the clubhouse. Pelfrey has designed this team. Every single guy, 1 through 9, can steal a base. And it just goes to show. Now we're cooking. We got a guy in scoring position with one of our hottest hitters right now.
And a man hotter than scorched earth waiting on deck, and Ricky Ramirez Jr. Count is 1-1 on Reichenborn. Here's the pitch from the right-hander. Breaking ball is going to miss badly in the left-handed box. Now 2-1 on the Freedom 2-hole hitter.
This is a very comfortable count that Reichenborn likes to hit in, especially when the pitcher's behind in the count to him. Very dangerous hitter. Can inside out a fastball. Even if it's a low-away breaking ball, he can go with it. Very dangerous.
Righty lowers the hands to the ready, and the 2-1 pitch on the way. A fastball at 90 thrown past a swinging Reichenborn to even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reichenborn runs like a deer, like so many others in this Freedom batting order. Seeing him leg out that triple, it was a stand-up triple off a wall in right field, the big wall in O'Fallon, Missouri, that's only 299 feet away from home plate. This ball is hit a lot farther than 299 feet, deep to center. It's going to be playable for Dunston Jr., who will squeeze it, but his throw to third base is not going to be nearly in time as Bernard tags up and is now just 90 feet away. In one way, it's as good as a bunt. Reichenborn does his job. Moves the game's first run 90 feet away from home plate. Flying out to center field to bring up Ricky Ramirez Jr., who's been hitting nothing but doubles of late for the Freedom.
No, definitely one of the hottest hitters indeed. 10-game hitting streak, and twice he's almost seen it vanish because he was pinch hitting. But due to how hot he was at the plate, he was able to get hits. He comes through big time, and I know you know all about that.
Absolutely. 6 for 9 in the River City Rascals series was this guy, with 3 doubles and 4 RBIs. First pitch to him, breaking ball. He rolls over towards first, but this is foul. Played on a backhand by Jamie Smart, showing his range in foul ground. He'll underhand the ball to Drew Martinez, who will walk it back towards the Freedom dugout. No, he's going to turn into a souvenir for a lucky fan. Good for you, Drew.
Well, just to tell you, too, how dangerous he is with runners in scoring position, hitting .281 with 12 ribbies. We'd love to see number 13 here. Great situation. Like you mentioned before, it goes back to his old batting stance like he did in 2018.
Here's the 0-1. Fastball line shot to center. This is going to get down, and Isaac Bernard will score. The Freedom are in front. 1-0. Scoring in their first at-bat for the 16th time this season. 1-0.
And Ricky Ramirez Jr. is just automatic like a free throw. I mean, it's unbelievable. You know, just shoots it right up the middle, get our first run. And obviously the Freedom are very, very good when they score first as well.
Andre Mercurio is no stranger to coming through with runners in scoring position, as he showed a couple of times in that River City Rascals series. And he's the next man up for the Freedom in his cleanup spot, as always. Doing the DHing today for Dennis Pelfrey's Freedom is the usual center fielder, Andre Mercurio. Here's the first pitch to the lefty, a fastball. That's on the outside edge for a called strike. It's 0-1. Andre still hitting over 300 on the season. Doing a good job staying hot despite a stint on the 7-day disabled list. Here is a back pick at first. But Ramirez back in plenty of time. RBI for Ramirez, his 13th of the season, and so many of those have been in the last handful of games. It wasn't long ago Ricky was hitting 1-something offensively. He's got his average up to 283 plus whatever it goes to after that base hit tonight. Fastball is going to miss out to even the count. Out 1 ball and 1 strike with Mercurio, who has 1 bomb and 11 RBIs. Just a couple off the man who hits right in front of him in the batting order tonight. Lanfear gets the sign from his catcher, Zach Taylor. Lowers the hands to the ready. Dancing off first base is Ramirez. And the 1-1 pitch, a breaking ball lifted high in the air to right field. This has some carry to it, but it looks like it's going to be playable for Luke Lowry, who's underneath it a couple steps shy of the warning track and then shows his hose to second. Ricky will stay right there at first base with 2 outs.
Yeah, kind of interesting, too, because I don't know if everyone can see on the broadcast, but the flag is blowing out to right field, but it almost looks like it's not carrying at all here today here at UC Health Stadium. So that's twice now where they look good off the bat, but they kind of died out towards the end.
Absolutely. Caleb Lopez will hit next. Quick meeting of the minds. Brent Sakurai from short joining the discussion with Zach Taylor and Lucas Lanfear. We'll see if they have some tricks up their sleeve. They know the Freedom do like to steal bases and would love to have a runner in scoring position for this guy, and Caleb Lopez, who's rocking the clean-looking stirrups today. Fresh look for the Freedom second baseman. Here's the first pitch from Lanfear. Fastball swung on, fouled back into the Grizzlies dugout. Quickly 0-1 on the man who normally has hit in the 3-hole for the last several weeks for the Freedom, but maybe looking for a little more confidence. Dropped into the 5 spot. Still in the heart of the Freedom batting order, as I think he'll be all season. But in the 5-hole today.
It's just how dynamic this lineup is. You can put any batter in any situation.
Dennis Pelfrey does. Another look at first base. Ricky back without a slide. I remember Dennis talked about it. It wasn't on one of his Dennis Pelfrey shows. It was actually during batting practice. He told both of us this. So much of why he likes running so much, stealing so many bases, is because of how it gets in the mind of the pitchers. Gets them distracted. 0-1 pitch to Lopez is going to miss up and in at 88. 1 ball and 1 strike. If you'll remember, the Freedom were getting thrown out a lot trying to steal bases early in the season. We were talking to Dennis about that, and he said it's all about the long game. Eventually, they're going to start swiping bags, but it's also making sure the pitcher has to worry about every individual guy that gets on base. Another look at first, right on cue, as Ramirez is back. But if anyone, 1 through 9, finds their way on base for the Freedom, very likely, minus maybe a couple of the catchers, not named Jackson Pritchard, they're thrust to steal bags, and the pitchers have to really worry about base runners. Fastball misses up. Perhaps that's starting to have a little bit of an effect on Lanfear, who has not looked nearly as sharp from the stretch today. And the way the Freedom have been hitting offensively of late, he'll be in the stretch a lot. He'll have to get comfortable. If they're not always scoring runs, that's one thing, but they have been threatening with reckless abandon. As they continue to climb the charts in all the Frontier League and offensive categories. A big lead at first from Ramirez, a 2-1 breaking ball. That's a good pitch. 78 on the black outside to even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Lopez. There are 2 outs. Freedom in front, 1-0 over the Gateway Grizzlies. It was Ricky Ramirez Jr. who's standing at first. Plating the game's first run with a sharply hit single that scored Isaac Bernard, who singled, stole second, and advanced to third on a fly ball from 2-hole hitter Tyler Reichenborn. 2-2 on the way. This is lined on the third base side, but foul. One hopping in and out of a mitt of the lucky fan on the grassy berm. Ball was hit on the screws, as they often are from Lopez. Doesn't always mean they turn into hits, though. And that's been so frustrating for him all season. Batting average at .211, but don't just look at that to get an idea of the contact. I know I've mentioned it a lot, but it's still the case. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and the pitch from Lanfear. Breaking ball skied on the infield. This looks like it's going to stay in play. It's the first baseman, Jamie Smart, in foul ground, who will squeeze it. And Lucas Lanfear is out of harm's way in the first, but the Freedom do draw first blood. Lead 1-0. Ricky Ramirez, another RBI, now 7 for his last 10 at the plate offensively. And some kind of a rhythm is that Freedom 3-hole hitter. We move to the top of the second. Mike Castellani already with 1 run of support on the Freedom Broadcasting Network.
If you know it, dance along, man.
Boy, I feel like I'm back on a high school broadcast. No spots, no bump music, just dry voice in and out of innings, turning your mic down to give yourself a little bit of rest.
Yep.
But here we are, UC Health Stadium, game one of a 4-game series, the first 4-gamer for the Freedom this season, taking on the Gateway Grizzlies. It's a battle between the top team in the West, Florence, and the bottom team in the West, Gateway. As we move to the second, Mike Castellani will face Jamie Smart, Matt Brown, Connor Owings after a 1-2-3. Top half of the first. First pitch on the way to the big man Smart. It's going to be a fastball that's going to miss too far inside for ball one. Lefty battle to start the second frame. Freedom in front 1-0. Scoring in their first at bat and staying hot offensively. Mike Galino sets up in for the 1-0 from Lonnie. Here it is. Ground ball to the right side. Lopez shades, wears it off his chest, goes to a knee, throw to first base, and still in time. That's how you hang in there and recover after a nasty hop. Lopez did a good job shading to his left to get in front of it, wore it off the chest, fell to his knees, and still got the throw to first base in time to retire the hustling Smart. 4-3.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, my bad, but no, that just goes to show people thinking playing on turf, you're just going to get natural bounces all the time. That's not the case because the seams can still skip on the turf and cause a dramatic bounce. So that was a great job by Lopez staying with it.
Brings up the DH, Matt Brown. Hits from the right side. Lonnie right back to work. Here's the first pitch. Fastball swung on and missed with tremendous tail. And you will see a lot of swings just like that one. And I can actually say that now as we got a camera up today. When Mike Castellani is on the mound, Dennis Pelfrey talking about it, the movement on his fastballs, it's not always the same kind of movement either. It'll do a little something different every time he throws it. But he will get a lot of helpless swings and misses when he's got that two-seamer cooking, as it appears he does here in the second. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Brown. Goes breaking ball, gets another swing and a miss, 0-2.
The crazy thing is, too, Castellani isn't going to overpower you, but he is going to outsmart you, and that is for sure. When he's out there on the mound, 60 inches, 60 feet, or 60
feet, 6 inches.
Feet, 6 inches. Man, that was going to be a good punchline, too. But no, he's
you were
dominant.
telling a joke?
Yeah, no, he's just dominant. He's dominant.
0-2. Tailing fastball is going to miss down and away for ball one. Now 1-2. We've actually seen Castellani use some waste pitches today. That's not always something you'll see. Freedom pitchers going right after guys with 2 strikes, but I'm not upset to see it.
Nah, neither am I.
Nothing more frustrating than a 2-strike pitch that gets too much plate. Turns into a base hit. Breaking ball is strike 3 called. No question about that one. You just mentioned it. He'll outsmart you, and he just outsmarted Matt Brown, who was obviously looking fastball and was frozen by the 12-6er. Second strikeout for Castellani in his second in the last 3 batters he's faced, as Connor Owings comes to the plate after 2 quick outs in the Gateway side of the second.
And that just goes to show Castellani has the most innings pitched for the Freedom pitching staff at 45 2/3. He trusts his pitches. You know, if he wants to throw a strike, he can. If he wants you to hit one, he'll let you hit it. He's fearless.
First pitch to Owings, fastball, and on the outside corner with a late strike call from Joe Harris that time. But as long as he calls it a strike, we're not going to complain.
Oh, absolutely.
0-1. Castellani quickly ahead and even quicker to come to the set for the second pitch. Here's that changeup at 79. That thing broke a foot. 1-1.
No, it really did. Lots of movement on his off speed and his fastball.
Quick consensus reached. And the 1-1 pitch from Castellani, a fastball that's fouled off the foot. 1-2. 2 outs, nobody on. Castellani looking for another shutdown inning after the Freedom took the game's first lead, 1-0 in their first at bat. Got 2 hits and that 1 run first. Isaac Bernard started things with a bullet to center, and Ricky Ramirez Jr. a couple batters later would hit another seed to center that plated Bernard as the Freedom took that 1-0 edge. Lefty set for the 1-2. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Just goes to show he's comfortable with what he's throwing. He'll throw it in the turf. He'll throw it high. But I guarantee he's going to go right after Owings right here on this pitch. Would love to face the minimum right here.
Galino sets up out. Castellani deals the 2-2, and it's tapped towards third. Pintor charges in, gloves, pats the glove, and sends a seed to first in time. A 1-2-3 frame, second in a row for Mike Castellani, and the Freedom will get right back to work offensively in front, 1-0, sending Pintor, Wobrock, Galino, the 6, 7, 8 hitters to the plate to face Lucas Lanphier next from UC Health Stadium.
Hey, great match right now. It's time to cool things off a little for the 100-yard friends in the Aronco Comfort Air Cozy T-shirt contest. Aronco, your air conditioning specialist in Burlington. Williamsburg, we've got our two contestants. One on each side. They're going to race down to the cooler, throw it open, break out the frozen T-shirt, and the first one to get on is going to be our winner. On your mark, get set, and go! Both got the cooler on the same time. Youngster over on the third base side. Front break his open. First base is just slamming his on the ground. Trying to get all the ice off. So far, looking close. Third base already has a head into the shirt. He's coming through the whole net. And there's third base. In record time. Let's give it up for that youngster. And let's give it up for the gentleman taking home tonight's old t-shirt. In that city, Florence is hiring customer service agents. City offers pitch training and a variety of work schedules. To discover a career at City and join our Arco team, visit jobs.city.com/Florence to apply. Stepping to the plate for Gorgory and third baseman, Louis Pintor. Presenting a Mountain View University.
Underway in the bottom of the second inning, Luis Pintor lays off a first pitch breaking ball from Lucas Lanphier that missed too far inside for ball one, and the righty right back into the windup for the second offering. A fastball that's going to find the outside edge for a called strike, evens the count with Luis Pintor 1 ball and 1 strike. Freedom ahead of the Gateway Grizzlies 1-0 in game 1 of this 4-game wraparound weekend series at UC Health Stadium. 1-1 pitch, fastball is going to miss too tall for ball 2, and that one at 94 as Lanphier reached back, put a little extra on it. But sacrificed location for the second ball of the sequence. After the scorching start to the season, Luis has cooled off offensively, turns and rips a breaking ball foul to the third base side. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Batting average down to 277. Still driving in runs, 12 RBIs on the season. Had that multi-homer game against the Joliet Slammers, the first series of the season, but has not touched all the bases since. 2-2 breaking ball, shot foul the other way. Man, and they're really on the 24-man roster, every single one of the Freedom guys is somebody that you can root for, but you really root for Luis Pintor as well. Just the perfect Dennis Pelfrey type player and the way he approaches the game, his attitude and moxie.
Yeah.
The way he carries on with guys in the clubhouse, the sense of humor. Man, and he puts his work in too. He even wears his helmet during batting practice. The only Freedom player to wear his helmet in the Turtle. Here's a line bullet out of play off to the right side. This will twist and find its way on the grassy knoll. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Luis, who's played some third base. He's played some second. He even got to play short one game. Didn't get a single ground ball. Good changeup, swung on and missed. Pintor down on strikes. Lanphier has his first strikeout of the day, and that was his best sequence. Touched 94 with a fastball and a really good changeup to get the strikeout.
Yeah, I think especially after that rough first inning too, he's just going to come out with everything he has. And it just goes to show right there what he did with Luis Pintor. But now he's got a tough batter to face in the 7-hole batter of Austin Wobrock.
Wobrock, one of the many offensive heroes for the Freedom yesterday in O'Fallon, Missouri. First pitch fastball is going to find the outside edge, start Austin in the 0-1 hole. But it was Wobrock facing Jason Zardowski with the Freedom down to their last out in the top of the 7th inning. Breaking ball's fouled back behind home plate. Count quickly 0-2. But just to wrap up that long-winded point, Wobrock came through laced a single to tie the game at 2. The rest was history, as the Freedom wound up winning that opener of the doubleheader 5-2. Breaking ball will miss out for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But it was Wobrock's base hit that tied the game at 2 that forced that unbelievably thrilling bottom of the 7th where the bases were loaded with nobody out. Craigie then struck out the side. Here's a hard chopper towards short. Sakurai circles it, gloves, and fires across in time to retire Wobrock for the second out of the frame.
One thing I want to mention, too, though, I'd love to see in our stat sheets and everything like that with batting averages with the go-ahead run or the tying run in scoring position, because timely hitting, I looked 1 through 9 in this batting order, and it seems like every single guy has had the opportunity, and they've come through. So it just goes to show, once again, how much depth this team has.
No question about it. The man wearing the Thornton's promotional game day jerseys, the catcher Mike Galino, who stares at a fastball off the plate for ball 1. Galino hitting 280. Snapped his 8-game hitting streak yesterday against the River City Rascals, 1-0. Good off-speed pitch, gets a swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. But Galino, another one of those guys that seems to be at his best late in games with runners on base, particularly in scoring position. 1-1, big breaking ball. That's a nasty pitch on the outside black. 1-2, Lanphier ahead of Galino now. Couple of game-winning hits for Mike Galino this season. The eventual game-winning grand slam against Washington as he swings through an inside breaking ball. It comes up empty. Strikeout number 2 for Lucas Lanphier, who's gotten both those whiffs in this bottom of the 2nd. We move to the top of the 3rd. Freedom still in front by 1. 1-0 your score on the Freedom Broadcasting Network.
You know it. Let's see it over. Nicely done, Freedom fans. Let's give it up for a rally from the flat. Stepping to the plate now for the Grizzlies, number 44, right fielder, Luke Lowry.
Hi, we're back at UC Health Stadium. Freedom in front 1-0. And in for the play-by-play as we move into the top of the 3rd, my partner, Rob Rundle.
Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, scores 1-0 here at UC Health Stadium. Freedom coming off that series victory against River City, where they won 2 out of 3 games, 2 in the doubleheader yesterday. Both of those games being in a final decision of 5-2. First pitch from Castellani misses upstairs, ball 1. We've heard from Dennis Pelfrey time and time again at the beginning of the season how he compared this team, if not better than that 2017 team that went 61-35. 1-0 pitch inside corner for strike 1. Counts even up at 1-1. Oh, and batting is Luke Lowry, the right fielder, number 44. Lowry smashes one to Wobrock right off his glove, but that was a tough play. That's going to be a line drive base hit. So that's a leadoff base hit for the Grizzlies here in the top of the 3rd inning. Also their first hit and first guy on base.
Man, that was so close to being a leaping grab from Wobrock and another out for Mike Castellani, who retired the first 6 batters he faced before that single from Lowry. So close and hit so hard, even after a couple of bounces, Nard had to body it up in left field.
A lot of hard hit balls here so far. Castellani works from the stretch, obviously, and high lay kick. right at the bottom of the zone for strike one. As it's 0-1 with Lowry on first base. Lowry not a huge threat to steal. He does have 3 stolen bags on the season, but it really is hard to steal on a left-handed pitcher. Castellani will shoot one over, works that 45-degree angle that you get as a pitcher, and that's so crucial. When I would be on first base, I couldn't tell you how many times I've been picked off due to that nasty pickoff move.
Yeah, lefties are tough, in particular Mike Castellani. He has picked off somebody in each of his last 2 starts.
0-1 pitch, and that's going to be a lazy fly ball right to Tyler Reichenborn in center field, who snags it for the first out of the inning as Castellani pitches to contact for out number 1. That'll bring up the newly signed left fielder, Tyler Plantier. Plantier had a couple chances on a foul ball towards the line. Not as fast as I thought a left fielder would be, but it hits in the 9-hole with Lowry on first base. Late call by Harris, but right on the inside corner for strike one. Castellani came into this game with a 2.16 ERA, which is 5th in the Frontier League. Frank Valentino is second now with a 1.8. A 1 pitch misses outside towards the left-hander batter's box. Counts 1-1. And Castellani has been in a hot stretch on the bump, too, notching 2 wins in his 2 most recent starts, spanning 8 innings in both affairs, while only giving up 1 earned run in the affair. That's going to be a smash to left field, as that's going to bounce to Bernard for a 1-hop single, as the Grizzlies are trying to tie the game, as they have something going on here with runners on first and second with 1 out.
You know, Mike Castellani was incredible with guys on base in his last start. He went 8 shutout innings, but it wasn't as though he didn't allow base runners and didn't have to dig deep, throw some stressful pitches. It seemed like in his last start, it was June 15th, right here against the Lake Erie Crushers, an eventual 2-0 Freedom win. He rolled a couple of double plays that night. He backed up a throw at third base that turned into an unconventional double play after a line drive to center. He was able to make the pitch he needed in spots like this.
And that's just where Castellani can outsmart you. As that 86-mile-per-hour fastball misses outside, 1-0. Freedom are 22-12 on the season as we inch closer and closer to that all-star break. Freedom have a couple suspended games. Their series records are 7-3-2. Those 2 tied are Lake Erie and Southern Illinois Miners that we're making up. I think it's in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, actually. Brent Sakurai, the shortstop. That's going to be a high chopper to Walbrock. Let's see if he goes to 2. He barehands it, throws it to second, and that's an error by Walbrock as Lopez wasn't even expecting it. And that's going to score 1. And that is a mistake by Walbrock because it seems like, you know, just get the out at first with 2 outs and it'd still be a 0-0 ball game. But now the score is 1-1.
Yeah, that's a real bummer there. That's one of those. Obviously, hindsight 2020, trying to make a play. If it's a good throw, maybe he gets the out there, but you're probably not going to roll 2. Take the easy out. At that point, yeah, there's guys at second and third, but Castellani just has to execute 1 pitch. Facing a guy, he got to fly out his first time up, and the Freedom would have another goose egg on the board. Walbrock always makes spectacular plays. He's tremendous. He's as good as it gets at short. Sometimes he needs to go to first base and not worry about making the highlight play. Just take the easy play. And that's what this situation was here.
So that'll bring up Sean Dunston Jr. Hits from the left side. First pitch misses low and away, counts 1-0. And it is runners on the corners with 1 out after that Austin Walbrock error. Castellani will work from the stretch once again. Slide step. It's going to be a flare to Pintor, who tries for the double play, but does not step on the bag in time. But that is going to be a huge out for out number 2. And that will bring up Andrew Daniel, who struck out swinging in the first inning. We'll try to push this lead. So all runs are unearned for Mike Castellani. Castellani will try for a pickoff attempt. No play, though. Score is 1-1 here in the top of the third inning. As the Grizzlies, like I just mentioned, played one due to a Wilbrock error. First pitch misses upstairs, counts 1-0. Castellani, this is his first run given up since June 9th. They faced Washington in Washington, Pennsylvania, where he spanned 8 innings, gave up 2 runs, 1 earned. 1-0 pitch right down Broadway for strike 1, counts evened up. Castellani likes to work just a little bit shaded on the first base side of the rubber. One pitch misses outside, counts 2-1.
Boy, that was awful close.
Very close. We've seen that call by Harris on the inside part of the plate. But it is a lot harder to see the outside part of the plate because when you're an umpire, you're set up on the inside part of a right-handed batter or a left-handed batter. 2-1 pitch, good stop by Galino. But it is in the turf, counts 3-1. And Castellani's going to take a deep breath, get off the mound for a second. This is a good hit and run count. Wouldn't be surprised if Brent Sakurai takes off for second, trying and avoid the fielder's choice. Sakurai has 9 stolen bags on the season, which is second behind Sean Dunston Jr. That's going to be a line towards the right field line. Ramirez is going towards it, but it's foul just in the grassy knoll. I know for the viewers at home, it's can't really see in the right field line, but it is just a long foul ball. And now we see a payoff pitch, and now Sakurai is going to take off, and it's so important for Castellani to pinpoint this pitch and not leave it over the heart of the plate, because if they get one to the wall, that's definitely going to score Sakurai. High leg kick, payoff pitch. Smash to pin toward third as he gets it in time, as he fires it over to Crane at first for the inning-ending play. The Grizzlies do plate a run due to that Austin Wilbrock error where he's trying to get the runner out at second. So that is an unearned run for Mike Castellani as we head to the bottom of the third frame here at UC Health Stadium. It'll be Crane, Bernard, and Reichenborn. Stay tuned.
We've got Travis hanging out up there for the next few innings. And Travis catches a home run ball. He's going home with $110. Let's cheer up for Arena to hit a home run out there to right field. Let's hear from Travis. Hopefully he goes home more than $8,000 tonight. Right now, our friend All-Star and Uncle is going to look like they're expiring. They're on the first base dugout. I see a beautiful bouquet of flowers. That means the All-Star is looking for his sweetheart tonight. Thanks to those ladies. If you want those flowers from Swamp Grove to be yours, you can be the All-Star sweetheart of the game. And guys, you can want a sweetheart of the deal. Our flowers from the Swamp Grove. From Swamp Grove, you can follow Swamp Grove on social media.
Bottom of the third inning here at UC Health Stadium, as Connor Crane will lead off for the Freedom. Connor Crane has done a lot of damage in just recent weeks. Crane went 1 for 3 in the second game of the doubleheader yesterday, followed by a multi-hit game in the first game of the doubleheader. First pitch to Crane is fouled back just to the right of us. That'll land in the concourse for strike 1.
Yep, Connor got a couple more ribbies yesterday. 1 in each game. Total up to 25. Tied him for third most in all of the Frontier League in the RBI category, and doing the damage in the 9 hole. I love it.
1 pitch misses upstairs, 1-1. And no, you're absolutely right. I mean, just him hitting in the 9-hole and just producing those kind of runs is just unheard of. It really is. But a lot of these Freedom hitters get on base quite a lot as Connor Crane looked to check swing, but he holds up and they won't appeal. So ball 2, counts 2-1. Florence is tied for first in the West Division in the Frontier League with Southern Illinois, who's on an 8-game winning streak. Freedom are 8-2 in their last 10, though. Looking to increase the winning streak to 3 games. 2-1 pitch fouled back as the count's even to 2-2. Freedom scored the first run as they drew first blood after Ricky Ramirez RBI single smash up the middle, extending his modest 10-game hitting streak to 11 games. Obviously, the Freedom's best is 13, which was Luis Pintor. Swung on a miss as it's foul tip, but caught by the catcher, so that's going to be out number 1 on a strike 3 swinging.
Lanfear starting to figure it out, it appears. 3 strikeouts in his last 4 outs. We've seen him touch 94. He's starting to have more confidence. He's using that breaking ball increasingly well on the edges.
Yeah, he really has. And that brings up the lefty, Isaac Bernard, who led off the game with a single. First pitch just a bit outside. Ball 1. It almost looks like Harris is kind of shrinking his zone a little bit. It's only the 3rd inning. That's one thing that we've talked to Dennis Pelfrey numerous times. What irritates him the most is when umpires change their zones in the middle of the game. 1-0 pitch misses it high. So it's in Bernard's favor, 2-0, but it's why he loved the umpires in Washington. No matter what the score was, when it was 17-3, they kept the
Right.
same strike zone.
Yep.
It's hard to come by nowadays. Lanfear from the windup, and that hits Bernard. Really didn't look like he moved, but we're going to take the free 90, no doubt about it.
One of those Jersey grazers.
Oh, yeah.
I think Bernard was even content to stay in there. He saw Lanfear good his first time up. Laced a single, promptly stole second. I think he was kind of wanting to stay in there, but Joe Harris is like, nah, I saw that. It brushed up against that pearly white uni.
Mm-hmm.
First base is yours.
First base is his indeed. Bernard definitely a threat on the base pass to steal here. He has 4 stolen bases on the season. Good chance for Reichenborn to get an RBI or put the Freedom ahead. So he shoots one foul. That'll get past the stage. The right field concourse counts 0-1. Reichenborn did fly out to center field to Dunston Jr. in the first inning, but he did move Bernard to third base, which allowed Ricky Ramirez to drive him in. Either way, he probably would have scored from second, but still makes it a lot easier on that 3-hole hitter to do so. 0-1 pitch misses high and away. 1-1. As we mentioned before, Reichenborn, member of the 2019 World Series champions, Tennessee Wesleyan. Such a cool feat for a college player just to come right out and tear it up like he is right now. Try and throw over to first base, no play.
Tennessee Wesleyan sure enjoying following his pro career as well. If you pay attention to their Twitter account or see the retweets on the Florence Freedom account, they've been following what Reichenborn's doing, and it's been a fun follow for them. He's produced incredibly well in his first week.
1-1 pitch misses high and inside on his 79-mile-per-hour curveball, counts 2-1. But no, I think Reichenborn loves it too, you know, seeing his old college teammates or even his program just kind of shadowing him, just looking at what he's doing. This really goes to show the camaraderie that you build at the college level.
And the motivation it brings too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not wanting to let those guys down.
Long hold, Reichenborn swung on and missed. Counts even to 2-2. I know you played at NAIA school. I played at NAIA school. A lot of D1 talent is overlooked, you know. I mean, it just goes to show how competitive that division is. A lot of good teams, a lot of juggernauts. I know your team, Indiana Tech, was one of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We always had very talented teams. A lot of guys that were coming from D1 schools that, for a number of reasons, may have not been welcomed back the following year.
Yeah.
But tremendous talent. And you'll see a lot of guys get drafted out of NAIA ranks, especially of late.
2-2 pitch. Reichenborn fights it off. Foul. As we'll try again at 2-2, and that just goes to show Reichenbach was actually drafted in the 35th round in junior college, but he decided to go to Tennessee Wesleyan, finish out his career, and now he's here with the Florence Freedom, and he's the youngest player, age of 20. He's been playing all over. He's played left field and center field. He's been the designated hitter. Now he's earned his way into that two-hole position. 2-2 pitch misses upstairs, full count, and this is definitely a good hit and run count. Would not be surprised if Isaac Bernard takes off here.
No, not at all, especially with how Gateway was able to tie the game in their last at bat. You know, it just burns Dennis Pelfrey when he gets base runners on. He wants to move them. He wants to score them. Good speed on the base paths and a good contact hitter at the plate.
So Bernard does take off. Swung on a miss. Bernard takes off for second, and he's thrown out by Zach Taylor behind the dish. So it's a strike him out, throw him out situation. Got to give props to Zach Taylor behind the plate. But the Freedom are unable to answer after the Grizzlies tied the game in the top of the third inning after that error. So we'll head to the top of the fourth inning as Mike Castellani goes back out to the bump and try to hold them. Scores 1-1 here at UC Health Stadium. We'll be back.
And we have to don't forget, this season, the first $5 of the gameplay is on us at Days and Huskers. All you have to do is check the back of your game ticket for a great offer from Days and Huskers. Get your green ticket there, and the first $5 is on us. Days and Huskers, just a short walk away on Heights Boulevard here in Florence. And right now, fans, GG's cupcakes are being delivered to our suites here at UC Health Stadium. If you'd like your next Freedom game, you include a GG's cupcake breaker. Got my Freedom Room stable on the concourse. 119 room pricing and formation. Second to the plate for England Grizzlies. Number 41, first baseman, James Smart.
1-1 is our score in the top of the fourth inning as Jamie Smart hits from the left side. Step up to face Castellani to lead off the inning. That's going to be a chopper backhanded play by Lopez, who fields it and throws it over quickly to Crane for first pitch and first out of the inning, and Castellani's got to love that.
Absolutely. Knows he's got good defenders behind him. Of course, there has been the one error that allowed the Gateway Grizzlies to score one run today, but his defense is as good as it gets. And Caleb Lopez proved it there. The backhand play, little jump throw. There's momentum carrying him away from first base, showing the athleticism for an early out.
Early out indeed. That was 2 groundouts to second base Jamie Smart has. That'll bring up Matt Brown, the designated hitter, hits from the right side. First pitch looked good from up here, but misses low for ball one. Grizzlies rocking the powder blue unis, the gray pants, as you can see on our live stream. 1-0 pitch. Skips in the turf. Good stop by Galino, but no one's on base, so counts 2-0. Kind of the same situation that we had here in a second. I'll tell you all about it here. 2-0 pitch. Smashed into the power alley in right center field. But Reichenbach comes in hard, and he'll snag it for the second out of the inning.
Freedom could really use that shutdown inning here. I know I talk about it ad nauseum, but really that error, not to dogpile Austin Wobrock, that kind of gave all momentum to Gateway. They were able to tie the game there. Landfear, as we've mentioned, starting to find his groove, racking up the strikeouts. Now 4 of them in his last 2 innings of work. It kind of feels like momentum's with Gateway after the 1-run lead the Freedom enjoyed early. They kind of need that shutdown inning and something good to happen offensively to kind of get some of that mo back in the first base dugout.
First pitch to Connor Owings, the third baseman, way outside for ball one. Castellani looking to face the minimum for the third time out of 4 possible innings. Grizzlies splitting with Lake Erie. Lost the first game 3-2 and won the second game 3-2. The third game postponed. That's going to be a chopper to Crane as he plays it with a slide on first base. Fields it to Castellani, and he gets the call out. So that's a 3-1 put out as he does face the minimum here in the fourth. So we'll head to the bottom of the frame with the score tied at 1 with both teams 2 hits apiece. The only difference, the Freedom do have an error, and that was on Austin Wolbrock back in the top of the third inning. We'll be right back here for more baseball.
It's always a great time to get start your career at City. We're going to herd home. On your mark, get set, and go. A big full turn. As they cross the halfway point, we've got a couple there right there at the front of the pack. It's going to be tight. Let's give it up for the winners of the herd. But remember, it's not who finishes first. That's always important. It's how well you finish. Everybody remembers. So let's hear it for those youngsters. They're in the back of the pack. This time for the Jets Pizza Power inning of the Freedom hit a home run this inning. Then Sheila Steffen will go home with $100 in Jets Pizza certificates. Let's cheer on Sheila. Let's cheer on your Freedom in the Jets Pizza Power inning. Stepping to the plate, right fielder, Ricky.
Welcome back, the right fielder. Standing at 5'10", 200 pounds at the age of 25. That's Ricky Ramirez Jr. hitting from the left side. Already extended his 10-game hitting streak to 11 games, courtesy of that RBI single in the first inning, plating Isaac Bernard. Score is tied 1-1 here in the bottom of the fourth frame as we're ready to get set. Lanphier, first pitch, changeup right on the outside corner for strike one.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Ricky Ramirez Jr., former Frontier League Player of the Week. 0-1 pitch, a weak ground ball to second base as Daniel kind of misplays it, and that's going to be an error on Daniel at second base as Ramirez reaches to start off the inning.
Well, there's that good thing that we needed to have happen offensively to kind of help momentum turn. Freedom made an error once, shifted Mo. Now Gateway makes an error. Maybe it'll shift Mo back. Not that Ricky Ramirez has reached on a bunch of errors of late. 7 for 10. Is 700 a good batting average? That's what he was going into that plate appearance, but this will work as well. Anyway, on base, put pressure on Lanphier, get him back to the stretch where he clearly wasn't as comfortable early in the game, and he hadn't been in the stretch much since. So a good start to the inning.
Good start indeed. Ramirez Jr. with a big secondary lead. First pitch to Andre Mercurio, calling for a strike, but Ricky Ramirez Jr. was out of the lineup for a short stint. Kind of rolled his ankle in a pickoff play between first and second base, but it was nothing too serious, and he's come back stronger than ever. Ramirez has reached base twice. Mercurio will look to join him. Pickoff play attempt to first, no tag. So we'll try it again.
It's always big to get the leadoff hitter on base for any team, regardless of how you're constructed, but particularly with the Freedom, with the way they like to use small ball. It opens up all the options. Mercurio hits cleanup, but don't be surprised if he bunts here.
Ramirez just trying to get him to balk, but that's going to be a swing and a miss by Mercurio. And you might be able to see it on the broadcast, but Ricky took a huge, huge secondary lead right there at first base, trying to get in the pitcher's head.
Yeah, he does that a lot. Sometimes it makes me quite nervous because all it takes is one time for the pitcher to change up his timing and throw over there, and Ricky is dead to rights. But it hadn't burned him yet.
Pickoff attempt, but Ricky's upstanding. It's one of those things, like you said, it's just about if they can get the timing right where he takes that big, big lead off it's going to be troublesome, but I think he's trying to get Mercurio a lot more fastballs in this cleanup spot, with the dangerous threat on the base paths. So get a lot more fastballs. Mercurio pops one up in the infield as Smart will call off all infielders for the first out of the inning.
Sounds crazy to say when it's the 4-hole trot back into the dugout, but I actually am really surprised that he didn't try to bunt his way on there. Not the sacrifice, but over at third base, Connor Owings was playing deep. And anytime Mercurio sees that, we talk about it all the time. He's an unconventional cleanup man. If you're going to play deep on the corners, he's going to beat you with the bunt. Very good bunter. Seeing as the Freedom got that leadoff man on, a sac bunt would be something you could see, but a bunt for a hit would have been even better. And Owings certainly, as you can see on the webcam, he's playing deep over there at third base.
Really is. Lopez, the new batter for the Freedom, takes first pitch for a strike right on the black for strike one. Lopez, first time up, popped one up to first base in foul territory to Smart, but he also smashed a couple hard line drives foul towards the left field side. There's one point where you mentioned he went 0 for 4, but every single ball he hit was hard. So we can't let his batting average be the defining factor. So Ramirez thought about taking off. Now it's going to be a back pick attempt, and he is going to be thrown out because Ramirez going to get back to the bag, and now he's pointing at the field umpire, arguing with Scott Wickoff.
I hope he's careful.
And here comes Dennis Pelfrey, as you can see, running across the webcam. He's going to have a couple words just to kind of defend his right fielder.
Yeah, I'm glad that Dennis is the one running over there now to share words, because Ricky, the way he's hitting right now, the Freedom need him in this game. It was a very tremendous slide back into first base by Ramirez. He did the old dive and twist move to try to avoid the tag, and you can tell that he felt pretty confidently that Jamie Smart never did place the tag on him, and he thought he was back in there safely. But always better to let the manager be the one to argue there, especially when you're as hot at the plate as Ricky's been. They need him offensively in this game.
No, they really do, especially like you said, 1 for 2 on the day already. But also it's one of those things where you just have to sell it, and I think Smart outsmarted everyone else at first base. So he definitely applied the tag. That'll let Lanfield work from the windup. Lopez on a 1-1 pitch, fouled into the dugout of the visitor's side. Counts 1 and 2. For those not for wondering, Pelfrey did get ejected from that first game of the doubleheader against River City. 1-2 pitch, fouled back to the screen. We'll try again, and kind of want to walk us through what kind of happened there against River City.
Yeah, for sure. And let me start off by saying I was sweating bullets that would be the day Dennis Pelfrey was ejected for the first time, goes in the clubhouse and normally turns the broadcast on. I had to send him a text, oh, by the way, we're also not broadcasting.
1-2 pitch, misses downstairs, counts even to 2-2.
But no, it was actually something where he was defending everybody in his dugout. It was a high strike called on the batter. I'm forgetting who was at the plate at the time, but it was in the top of the second inning. We were really just underway. High strike call, and there were some guys in the dugout that yelled it wasn't a strike.
2-2 pitch, breaking ball just a bit outside as the count runs full, 3-2.
And, umpires, especially at the professional level, you just have to understand that that's probably going to happen. And Mike Fichter was quick to rip his mask off and actually started screaming into the Freedom dugout. And Dennis at that point was like, why are you yelling at my players?
Payoff pitch misses inside as Lopez reaches first.
And it just escalated from there. So I think ultimately some thin skin behind the plate had a lot to do with it. It wasn't like Pelf was using a whole bunch of colorful language. I mean, in River City, you're sitting right on top of the action. I basically got to hear every word that was exchanged. And if I was on the air, I might have just turned the crowd mic up and stopped talking, because it was actually pretty interesting to listen to. But it was really just him defending his guys. Like, don't yell at my players. I'll handle my players. Call the game.
Yeah.
Manage the strike zone.
Exactly.
And that wasn't a strike. He got one in.
Got one in indeed, as Pintor, the new batter for the Freedom, looking for some vengeance. Swung on a miss for strike one. Pintor is hitting .261 versus right-handed pitching this year. Has 8 doubles and 8 ribbies. There's a .374 OBP. 0-1 pitch to Pintor. Smashes one to right center as Lopez rounds second. That's going to go to the wall. Pintor rounds first, heads to second. Help sends Lopez to home. And there's going to be a play at the plate. No, it's cut off by Smart, and that's going to be a stand-up triple by Luis Pintor, who puts the Freedom ahead 2-1 here at UC Health Stadium in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Could not be happier for Luis. Been pressing of late at the plate. But he got a pitch he could do a little something with there, and he didn't try to do too much with it. I think that's the biggest thing to take away from that at bat. He didn't try to aggressively pull it, hit it 150 feet over the wall in left field. He went the other way with it, guided it into the gap. And how about the wheels on Lopez scoring from first base on the triple?
So happy for Luis Pinto right there. Going with the pitch, sending it to the power alley in right center. First pitch to Austin Wobrock for a strike right at the knees. Counts 0-1, but you know, Luis Pintor, he was hitting about $119 in this past 5 games, so it's really good for him to put the Freedom ahead right there. 0-1 pitch, misses outside, 1-1.
Yeah, that'll give him a bunch of confidence. Maybe a little smile on his face, and deservedly so. Lanphier really started to get into a groove there. Might not be a game where the Freedom run away with a 6+ run victory. That's a huge knock here in the 4th.
1-1 pitch, back door, off-speed curveball, but does not break in far enough. Counts 2-1.
Now 13 RBIs on the season for Luis, and his first triple of the year. But the first of what I would expect to be a few more while he's in Florence.
2-1 pitch, swing on the miss as Wobrock falls to his back knee. Counts 2-2, but no, I mean, it's still early in the game. It's only the bottom of the 4th inning, but Castellani will obviously take any type of run support he can. He's one of the best pitchers who gets run support, averaging almost to 6 runs a game. 2-2 pitch, oh no, late call by Harris. Called for strike 3, and Wobrock stands in the left-handed batter's box. As we head to the top of the 5th inning, the Freedom do score 1 run, courtesy of that Luis Pintor triple to right center. As we head to the top of the 5th inning, 2-1.
Still just in the box.
Joe, Freedom fans, I need you to put your hands together and wish a very happy birthday to young Zach over here. And if you're celebrating birthday with us, help me sing along. I need you to help me sing the happy birthday song. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Zach. Happy birthday to you. Thank you, Rob. Happy birthday, Zach. Again, you don't need your job to celebrate your birthday here. Check out our birthday badges. Over to the table. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Josh. Hey, man, don't forget, right now will be a great time to remind you about Money Morgan and Picture Donor. If you like center deep breath, get what the rated. And remember, a single organ donor can potentially enhance the life of up to 75 more. Your tissue donation at that point is life. Passit.org.
First pitch by Castellani, and that's going to be a routine Sunday hop to Pintor. Shoots it over to first base. Couldn't even get my headset on in time. What a good job by Castellani, as that was Luke Lowry making the first out.
No, you got a million things to do over there doing the official scoring, also sending out the live tweets, and we don't have our bump music to let you know when exactly we're coming back on from break. So, again, for those of you tuning in tonight, obviously, you know it's a little bit of a different process. On YouTube, live streaming is our online streaming provider. Mixler is still just out of operation, defunct, crashed, whatever you want to call it. Insert synonym here.
And that brings up Zach Taylor, who takes first pitch for a strike.
But obviously very happy to be able to get on the air in any capacity.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To bring our loyal listeners to the Freedom Baseball they so desire. Welcome to Rob Rundle's YouTube channel.
0-1 pitch, misses low in the turf. Counts 1-1, but Zach Taylor's been very good behind the plate so far for the Grizzlies. He's thrown out a Freedom base runner and also backpicked Ricky Ramirez Jr. at first base just in the last half of the 4th. 1-1 pitch, misses high and away, counts 2-1.
But no, seriously, man, thanks for getting that
You're welcome.
kind of set up. And a huge shout out to our technical support staff here at UC Health Stadium who was over our shoulder kind of helping us. When you got a board, headsets, microphones, crowd mics, all trying to get through on a YouTube live stream, it takes a village. We thank everybody for their help getting this game on the air.
2-1 pitch. Looked good, but just misses low. Counts 3-1. Zach Taylor flew out to Reichenborn in center field. His first time up in the third inning. So he hits a foul ball just to the right of us towards the video room. And Castellani, once again, even though he's fallen behind the counts, he's just coming back and clawing back in these counts. And now we'll see a payoff pitch.
And a big payoff pitch at that. Just saw his offense give him another lead to work with here. Top inning number 5, already at the halfway point almost of this ball game tonight. A single 9-inning affair. Like to win this battle and not let Gateway get that tying run on base with less than 2 outs.
We'll see if Castellani can hold him. Payoff pitch from the stretch. That's going to be a smash hit on the screws to left field as that falls in for a single. Once again, as Bernard gets it in quickly to Lopez at second. And that's all of their hits have been to left field, just line drives.
Yeah, that really has worked for them today. The only run they scored, however, an unearned run. Each team now with 1 error tonight.
Very even affair, if you could put it that way. I mean, Grizzlies have 1 run on 3 hits and an error, and Freedom have 2 runs on 3 hits and 1 error. Brings up Plantier, who fouls home back to the screen, counts 0-1.
Yeah, it would have been too good to be true to get that bad, low Lanphier tonight, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
The 11 run or the 7 earned run version of himself. Looks like we're going to get that quality version that the Freedom have already seen once this year.
0-1 pitch, curveball looked good from up here, but just below the zone, counts 1-1, and Castellani has been dominant in recent outings. He would love to have the same thing as he is right now. So far, working for his 5th quality start of the season. He does have 4 right now. High leg kick. And that's going to be a fly ball hit to Reichenborn in center as he shades back towards his right. He circles around it. Catches it for the second out of the inning. As that'll bring up the top of the order in Brent Sakurai.
Oh, yeah. Castellani's still been quality. Even with the 3 line drive hits, the 1 run being unearned makes he's now 4 2/3 innings into this start. So his last 20 2/3 innings, he still just allowed 1 earned run.
That's insane. It really is. It really goes to show. At one point, we had 3 Freedom pitchers in the top 10 in ERA. And ERA, folks, ERA is definitely a big stat to look at. Pickoff attempt to first base. But for me, not only as a broadcaster, but as an avid baseball fan, I care more about walk and hits per innings pitched. And right now, in just his last 2 starts before this, was a .87, which is way more than elite, if you could put it. It's just astonishing for a pitcher like Castellani, who can pitch to contact the way he does and have the level of success rates that he does, is astronomical. Back pick attempt by Galeno, as it was a strike on the pitch. Counts 0-1.
Yeah, what I love about it as well is that he's still the same Mike Castellani that we know. It's not like all of a sudden he's had an 11 strikeout performance and a 10 strikeout performance where he just had real big swing and miss stuff. He's the same guy we've seen for 2 years now. He just really honed in.
0-1 pitch, a little flare to right field. Ricky Ramirez Jr. getting on his horse and a sliding catch, and he snags it for the 3rd out of the inning. Ricky Ramirez Jr., what ankle injury are you talking about? I got this, and we head to the bottom of the 5th with the score 2-1 as the Freedom will look to carry that momentum. Stay tuned for more Freedom Baseball.
All right, man. This time, the representation down to the first base bag. Here at 38, it's time for the Mighty Way race. The racers out there, they want to get to start for the first base bag. Up the first and second, over the third. Those 6 XL Mighty Way. The first one to get there is Florence. On the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, not ready yet. All right, we're ready to go down there. 1, 2, 3, and go. And they're off. And so far, now goes down the right field to make their way down to second base. One team is taking advantage. Go around second base. It looks like team 1 got in the back first and collision for our Mighty Way racer. All right, Freedom fans, we would like to remind you that next Sunday, the Crisis Center. Head over to that table to support that.
It is getting to that halfway point in the ballgame as we head to the bottom of the fifth here at UC Health Stadium, as it's still a tight game, 2-1 in the Freedom's favor. Both teams with 3 hits apiece and also an error. Galeno, the new batter for the Florence Freedom, takes first pitch for a strike. Galeno wearing the red Thornton's promotional jersey. 0-1 pitch misses low, 1-1. Galeno did strike out swinging in the second inning. Galeno has been one of the hottest Freedom batters in the past couple weeks. 1-1 pitch, off speed at 73 miles per hour, misses low and away. Counts 2-1. Just also to keep in mind, too, his last 10 games hitting .381 with a dinger and 6 ribbies. 2-1 pitch. Outside, counts 3-1 to Galeno's favor. Good start here if we can get another leadoff guy on base. Galeno smashes one back to the screen as Lamphere works it full, 3-2.
Got a little trivia for you, and you would have no way of knowing this. I just want to see your best guess.
Okay, go for it.
On bus trips, who is the movie guy? Who's the guy that has the huge collection of movies?
Payoff pitch misses inside, ball 4.
Basically, he becomes the guy that entertains the entire bus on road trips with the movies that he has seemingly every movie ever created.
See, you'd want me to say Austin Wilbrock, but it's just I definitely don't think it is, because I feel like that'd be too obvious. I'd probably have to say I'm gonna go with Lopey.
Caleb Lopez?
Yeah.
You know, like the Affleck trivia question for Braves games back in the day, they're always super relevant to the game that we're watching. It's actually Mike Castellani.
Is it really?
He is the movie dude. On the bus.
Interesting. Swing and a miss by Connor Crane gets this at-bat started. He struck out swinging as well his last time up, looking to join forces with Mike Galeno to reach base any way he can. Connor Crane leading the Freedom in home runs with 6. But no, that's really cool. I mean, it's just collective unit. I mean, all these guys are so friendly on this team. I just don't even know who to choose, to be honest with you. So I just kind of took a guess. But
you always talk about Wilbrock's sense of humor.
0-1 pitch, swing on a miss, 0-2.
But Mike Castellani is up there, man. That dude is a stitch. He's got a one-liner for you. Basically, anytime you just say what's up, he'll say something that makes you laugh. He's always got kind of a horde of guys around him. And he's always kind of more in the background, but with the sharp quips and the one-liners. Hilarious.
0-2 pitch to Crane, fouls it back, and that's probably going to leave the stadium right behind us. And it does. We'll try again at 0-2, but no, Cassidy has been dominant on the bumps so far for the Freedom.
I was going to say, there's nothing funny about his stuff right now.
Yeah, there's nothing funny about his stuff at all. I mean,
shoving it.
Yeah, shoving it, definitely. He's given up 3 hits, 1 unearned run. Just goes to show he's always going to fill up the zone. He's always going to be competitive. Pickoff attempt to first. Nothing's happening, but didn't even walk it. Hasn't even walked a runner yet. They've all earned their spots on base. Just 3 stolen base hits. You know, and it happens. Keep that whip under 1. If you can do that each start, that's just pure domination. 0-2 pitch. High fly ball into right field, but it has no carry to it as Lowry snags it in right field for the first out of the inning. And Aaron, it really does seem like these balls are just dying out there when they're getting lifted. It's so unusual. Unusual.
Yeah, it really is. But for a pitch-to-contact pitcher on the bump for the Freedom tonight, we won't complain about it. Not that Gateway's really tested it much. It's really seemed to hurt the Freedom more tonight. but certainly is unusual. It's not one of those real muggy days either, where there's a lot of moisture in the air that can kind of sometimes slow a ball down.
Yeah,
It was pretty crisp, but just not carrying, and the flag laying limp in right center.
No, you're absolutely right. It only rained hard for literally about 20 seconds.
Right after the anthem.
Right after the anthem. Backdoor curveball, no doubt about it. That's right down Broadway for strike one as Pelfrey gives Galeno his signs at third base. So an opportunity to see if something's on. Bernard has been hot at the plate. He's also been on base twice. He got things started for the Freedom in the first inning where he ended up scoring on an RBI single by Ricky Ramirez Jr. 0-1 pitch, another backdoor curveball in at the knees for strike two. Now that's two back-to-back curveballs. We'll see if he goes for curveball number 3.
And another rather late strike call as well.
Yeah. So Bernard with a little bit of an open batting stance. Likes to keep those hands loose. Lanphier from the stretch. Outside on an 88-mile-per-hour fastball, counts 1-2. Still in Lanphier's favor. Galeno did lead off the inning with a full count walk. So he stands on first base. Galeno definitely not a threat on the base pass to take off, though. Galeno he was kind of battling with Ricky Ramirez Jr. with that modest 7-game hitting streak, but he saw it come to an end abruptly. Still, very characteristic of him. He's still hitting the ball very well. 1-2 pitch, inside outs it, but that goes foul as it hits off the window of the Cornerstone Insurance Suites. We'll try again at 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Isaac Bernard hitting .267 in his last 5 games. It's a home run, 2 ribbies, and 5 hits. 1-2 pitch, curveball, and that's going to be a pop fly in the infield to shortstop. Actually, third base as Owings calls it for the second out of the inning, and Reichenborn will try and keep the momentum going here with 2 outs.
Now batting center fielder Tyler Reichenborn.
One thing you love about the Freedom. Guy at first base and 2 outs. An inning that hasn't seen a whole bunch of strong contact, couple of fly balls, 1 a pop out. But they love to go with 2 outs.
No, absolutely. Reichenborn hitting .429.
Well, what's up there, y'all star? Coming in to check out the broadcast.
Reichenborn hitting .429 in his last 5 games.
Gotta love the Florence mascot.
Oh, absolutely. Reichenborn hits a chopper, but that's going to go foul towards the visitor's dugout. Counts 0-1. Reichenborn, even though he's 0 for 2, he did help with the scoring play that Ricky Ramirez Jr. hit that RBI single. He moved Bernard to third base on a deep fly ball to Dunston Jr. Reichenborn quickly jumped on the scene here in Florence, Kentucky. A 1 pitch, curveball finds the inside part of the plate. Good location by Lanphier.
That was the first time y'all stars made it in the broadcast booth this year. I think he was just making sure we were on the air tonight.
Yeah, probably.
He was not too happy yesterday.
Scores 2-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning with an 0-2 count, 2 outs. And Lanphier almost throws it away, but good stop by Zach Taylor behind the dish. Counts 1-2.
Oh, and now I see him wreaking havoc on the second party deck right outside to our right.
Great turnout here, too, by the way. I mean, for
Absolutely.
Friday night, Star Wars Lego night. 1-2 pitch. Galeno takes off. Check swing, but it's going to be a ball, and Galeno gets a stolen base as Taylor skips it in the turf. If you're going to throw it to second base and skip it in the turf, you got to do it a little bit later than that. So now the count is going to be 2-2 with a runner in scoring position, which is a good scoring chance here for Reichenborn.
Absolutely. This is a guy that's had plenty of singles, even extra base hits since he signed with the Freedom. He can find 1 more of those here with 2 outs. The Freedom will do what they've done all season and tack on 1 more down to their last out in an inning.
2-2 pitch as he stays alive as it's hit foul. We'll try again at 2-2. Reichenborn hitting .333. Runners in scoring position with 2 outs. Well, he's only had 3 at-bats, but he does have a hit in an RBI. Very dangerous hitter. If you want to look at the runners in scoring position, he's hitting .250 with 4 ribbies.
A very tough pitch. He just fouled off to stay alive.
Yeah.
Again, sometimes it's mesmerizing to see how confident and just pro he is, knowing that he was in college a month ago. He just does not look like that at all. He has come in ready to rock as a professional baseball player.
2-2 pitch to Reichenborn as he fights it off, and it'll land in the concourse. We'll try again at 2-2, and that just goes to show, once again, if you haven't watched the Dennis Pelfrey Show, you're already on YouTube. Why don't you open up another tab, and after the game tonight, go ahead and watch it. We had episode 5 launch, and a lot of good content, a lot of great content. Aaron, you always get to talk to Dennis, and you always get to know the inside outs of what's going on.
Oh, absolutely. He talked a lot about exactly kind of what I just touched on there about Reichenborn. He said, I think the very first swing he took in the box, you knew this kid was ready to play pro baseball. It's difficult for guys, even guys that have a bunch of success in college that become pros. You're with a new team. All of a sudden, it's pro baseball. The guys on the mound are a little bit sharper. You can kind of go into a little bit of a shell, but not Reichenborn. He's embraced the opportunity, and he has made the transition look simple.
Sure has. 2-2 pitch, misses inside, and Reichenborn did not even budge at all. Counts 3-2. He knew exactly what he was looking for, and that was not it. So now we'll see a payoff pitch. If Lanfear was smart, he'd pitch around Reichenborn. Try and pitch, find a corner of his own. If you do walk him. But even then, it could still bring up a dangerous hitter, and Ricky Ramirez Jr. Just goes to show you really don't want to give up any freebies to this Freedom hitting staff. Lanfear from the stretch, high leg kick, payoff pitch. He fights it off, fouls it off himself in the batter's box, though. So we'll try again for pitch number 8.
Now, I can't really relate when it comes to actually playing baseball. I was never going to be a pro, but I can relate. It's something that I was and always have been comfortable with, speaking in front of people, giving presentations. It's one thing when you're in high school in front of a bunch of your peers that you know and hang out with on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yep.
You get that opportunity to do a show somewhere against a different crowd. It's a lot different.
It is a lot different indeed, but that payoff pitch is going to be strike 3, swing and a miss, so the Freedom are unable to extend their lead. However, they do have the lead 2-1 here at UC Health Stadium. We'll head to the top of the 6th inning as Mike Castellani will go back out and look to make his 5th quality start. Stay tuned for more Freedom Baseball.
Well, unfortunately, fans, our friend did not take a Freedom home run ball up there on the throw wall. But Travis has a shot right now, and winning a couple of Freedom tickets to a future game. And it's going to throw a ball up there. Travis catches it. He's got 2 more Freedom tickets. And there it is. Congratulations to Travis. If you'd like your shot on an 811 ball for $8,110. Head to the information booth and get signed up for a future Freedom game for your shot. Right now, fans, don't forget it is the 6th inning. That means it is the West 6th inning. West 6 years for just $2 as a concession stand for the remainder of the 6th inning. The West 6th inning.
A tight, contested ball game here at UC Health Stadium. The first game of the series against the Gateway Grizzlies. The Freedom are 3-0 already on the season, looking to make it 4-0. They have the lead 2-1 as I pass it to my partner in crime, Aaron Brody.
Thank you, Rob. It's going to be the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for Phil Warren's Gateway Grizzlies, who enter tonight's opener with the Freedom 15-20 on the season. They're in the cellar of the West Division. Your Freedom, a very different story. At 22-12, 10 games above 500, it's the Freedom at the top of the West. And they're looking for another series opening victory here tonight at UC Health Stadium, but just one run of cushion as we move into the top of the sixth. And lefty Mike Castellani will go fastball in the first offering to Sean Dunston Jr. And it misses outside for ball one. Dunston 0 for 2 and a bit of a funk offensively. Batting average in the low 270s entering tonight. And only gone down with the 0 for 2. He shows bunt here, but fails to get it down, fouls it off.
And I just realized this too. You probably can't see it on the live feed, but on the scoreboard they put the players' headshots on Lego pieces.
Oh boy, they sure did.
That is hilarious. It is Lego night.
It is.
Yep.
1-1 pitch on the way from the lefty, and that's right on the outside black at 84. Mike Castellani still with the good two-seam run on the fastball, and he's ahead of another hitter, 1-2. Freedom got their first run tonight in the first inning. Gateway tied the score at 1 in the third before the Freedom jumped back in front in the bottom of the fourth. Good breaking ball, misses downstairs. A good idea, changing the eye level with Sean Dunston Jr. But the two-hole man didn't flinch, saw it down, and is now in an even 2-2 count. Lino will set up inside for the 2-2 from Castellani. Here it is. Fastball, foul tipped off the foot, rolling towards the Freedom dugout. We'll do the 2-2 all over again. Should Mike be able to make it through this frame? He could even allow 2 earned runs. In fact, 3 earned runs in this frame. He will have another quality start. Freedom starting pitcher is just starting to rack those up. Here is a breaking ball that's hit a ton deep down the line in right field, and this ball is going to slam off the wall, one hop over, and it's going to be a ground rule double for Sean Dunston Jr. and a good start for the Gateway Grizzlies. The tying run now standing at second base with nobody out.
And honestly, that's kind of a good thing that was a ground rule double because Dunston has a lot of speed, especially hitting the ball in the corner. It could have been a leadoff triple. So now this still gives an opportunity for Castellani to keep the ball on the left side of the field to hold that runner at second to try and keep this a 2-1 ball game.
Situation just tightened up a little bit for the lefty Mike Castellani. Tying run 180 feet away as the 3-hole man Andrew Daniel steps in. However, Castellani has fared well against the 3-hole tonight as Daniel enters 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Lefty set just above the belt, and the first pitch on the way, a fastball right on the outside edge. He'll jump ahead 0-1. Castellani just with 1 strikeout tonight, with the 1 Gateway run unearned. Then the more pitch-to-contact version of himself tonight, but still just as sharp. We'll move to second. Nobody was there, just wanting Dunston to shorten up. We'll see if it works.
That was a good idea by Castellani. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Quick consensus reached, and an 0-1 fastball is going to miss out. Even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Been a pitcher's duel here in game 1 between the Freedom and Grizzlies. Freedom certainly built to win their fair share of those, however. 1-1 pitch on the way, a slide step and a hard shot. Wobrock dives, knocks it down. It's slowly rolling towards center. The shortstop may have just saved a run, however. Tremendous play just to get a glove or maybe part of his body on it.
Yeah.
That's going to be a base hit every day of the week, but Sean Dunston Jr. couldn't even move up from second. So it'll be first and second with nobody out. Double play is set up now for Jamie Smart, who is a terrific candidate.
Yeah, honestly, that's why it's so important, too. Full effort all the time. Even if you don't think you can get to the ball, just try and stop it any way you can. That's why you hear when it's the bottom of the 7th inning, hey, no doubles, body up, nothing behind you. You know, you got to stop the ball. And honestly, that was almost a running error by Dunston. He should have been the third, but we'll take it for sure.
First pitch on the way to Smart. Hard ground ball. This is a fair baseball to the left of the first base line and caroming off the wall. Ricky Ramirez Jr. will get to it. Relay to second as Sean Dunston scores. The hose of the base in time. Smart will be retired for the first out of the frame. But Gateway will have the go-ahead run at third base as they just tied it up on the single from Jamie Smart. We're even at 2-2.
And that was an awful base running by Jamie Smart. He deserved to be thrown out there for the outfield assist by Ricky Ramirez Jr. That is just unacceptable. And that is actually Ramirez's third field assist of the season. He leads the Freedom, but if you're running, you have to run hard out out of the box, full 180 feet because anything can happen. But we'll take it. 1 out. Now we're cooking. Score is even, though.
DH Matt Brown, the next man in the box, and the first pitch to him at 80. It's off speed, and it's a strike on the out half. Owen quickly. The Freedom infield will come in, cross the diamond, trying to cut down that go-ahead run that is standing at third base with just 1 out. Brown 0 for 2 tonight, a strikeout and a flyout. He's the DH for the Grizzlies. The 0-1 on the way, and a line shot. Easton drawn in infield. This is into right field. Ricky will play it on a hop, throw behind the runner at first base, but it won't matter. The runner's back safely, and the Gateway Grizzlies have jumped in front 3-2, and they've done it with base hits in this inning. A double and a trio of singles, 4 hits in the frame. They have their hit total up to 7, and the score is 3-2.
No, the Grizzlies are taking advantage of Castellani right now. Castellani doing his best, though. He's just filling up the zone, doing his job. And unfortunately, the Grizzlies have finally been able to catch up to it and barrel it up.
Third baseman Connor Owings and a left-handed hitter, the next man up. And a breaking ball at 81 is going to miss just off the outer edge. 1-0. Runner at first and 1 out, but the Grizzlies have scored 2 runs here in the top of the 6th to take their first lead tonight, 3-2. Castellani sets at the belt. The 1-0. Broken bat, slow roller to short. Wobrock Chargers will go to second for 1. Quick turn from Lopez. Not going to be in time. The Freedom do get the lead runner at second, retiring Owings. Lowry will reach.
And unfortunately, too, it's really sad to see that bat broke because that would have been an ending double play for sure because they were still close on that slow roller off that broken bat.
It was Owings reaching on the fielder's choice. I beg your pardon. It's now Luke Lowry in the box. Castellani will start Luke with a fastball that swung on and missed for strike 1. Lefty is set. The 0-1 pitch, a little slow comebacker. It's going to be fielded by Galeno, and they're going to call batter's interference. That's going to be the easiest out of the night for the Florence Freedom. But the Gateway Grizzlies have jumped in front 3-2, plating a pair of runs on 4 base hits in the top of the 6th. We move to the bottom half. The Freedom need 1 to tie, 2 to take a lead on the Freedom Broadcasting Network.
Let's give it up for Uncle Brown. And help, I never thought I would see that ever.
How about Dennis Pelfrey outgunning Uncle Sam and the dueling banjos there in between innings?
That was amazing.
The Freedom have just lost the lead in the top of the 6th. Coming to the plate, trailing the Gateway Grizzlies 3-2 in Game 1 of this wraparound 4-game weekend set between the top team in the West and the bottom team in the West. But it's that bottom team winning by 1 as Ricky Ramirez Jr. steps in the box to face Lucas Lanphier, who has been that good version of himself tonight, only allowing a pair of Freedom runs through his first 5 frames. He's in the midst of a quality start himself. But a dangerous part of the batting order due up for the Freedom. They're 3-4-5 in Ramirez, Mercurio, Lopez. Here's the first pitch to Ricky. The big breaking ball is across right down Broadway for a called strike.
And they've got to be careful with that pitch, too, because if you throw that again, Ricky is not afraid to send it into orbit to tie this game 3-3. He's a very dangerous hitter.
0-1, tailing fastball is going to miss out. A good take from Ramirez, who's got an RBI tonight as he continues his torrid stretch offensively. A base hit single made him 7 for his last 10. Going back to that River City series that he finished 6 for 9 at the plate. Here's a high fly ball carrying in left center field. This one has a little bit of carry. Sean Dunston will lose his hat in center field, but get to the power alley to squeeze the high fly ball for out number 1.
Wow, and a lot of top spin on that fly ball, too. He just got underneath of it. It's crazy. Baseball really is a game of inches, if not even centimeters. You know, if you just come up a little bit more on that ball would have been sent over that left center wall.
Fly out brings up Andre Mercurio with nobody on and 1 out. Heading towards those late stages of this single 9-inning affair tonight at UC Health Stadium. As always, a fireworks Friday. Another good turnout. Mercurio will show bunt. Pull back and watch a fastball at 88 find the outside edge for a called strike. Talked about it a little bit in his last at-bat, how he likes to take advantage of third basemen who play deep when he steps in the box. As a cleanup hitter, you'll get that a lot. 0-1, fly ball. This is a little flare, sinking quickly, but ranging in shallow left field is the shortstop, Brent Sakurai. That was going to be Plantier. Probably not going to have a shot to make the play, but Sakurai with the good wheels from short closes on that sinking liner for out number 2.
I was really kind of surprised by Mercurio right there showing bunt on that first pitch called strike because there's nobody on. Why not save it for later on and then just go after the first pitch? But, I mean, he'll get another crack at it. We still got a couple more innings to go here, and it's still a 1-run game.
Caleb Lopez worked a walk his last time up, came around to score 1 batter later when Luis Pintor laced an RBI triple. Now he's in the box, and we'll watch a breaking ball miss off the outer edge for ball 1 from Lucas Lanfear. Lopez is 0 for 1. With that walk and a run scored. He was the last Freedom run to Kraft's home plate back in the bottom of the 4th. Another bender and a strike this time to even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Freedom trying to rally with 2 outs. Lanfear into the windup. And this off-speed pitch at 79 looked like the straight change is going to miss above the belt for ball 2.
It's waiting for him to make a strike call because you kind of anticipate it. You know, he's such a delayed caller behind the plate, too. So, oh, man.
Really is. 2-1. Breaking ball. This will be a strike on the inner half. Lopez doesn't like the call, but we'll see the count move even as deuces are all over the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. The 1-run game. The Freedom trail. 3-2. Lanfear into the windup, and a fastball misses badly down and away. It'll be another full count.
Be a huge opportunity if he can get on base with Pintor coming off that huge triple. You know, Pintor wants another crack at it too.
Certainly does. Payoff pitch on the way to Lopez. Breaking ball, he rolls over to third base. Connor Owings gloves it. Will showcase his arm. It's a wild throw, but a good job with the footwork at first base. Jamie Smart able to jump from the top left corner of the base to the front right in time to get the out. And a 1-2-3 frame for Lucas Lanfear right after his Grizzlies have taken the lead. He gets the shutdown inning, and we move to the top of the 7th. The Southpaw will go back out for the Freedom. Mike Castellani will make it a 7-inning start next at UC Health Stadium on the Freedom Broadcasting Network.
You are going to help pick the winner by applause. First up, let's see the young ladies' best gloss. Let's see your moves. This was on. Let's get it for her. Now, young man, let's see your glossing. Got the sweet gloss on. All right, y'all start. You showed us a little sneak peek earlier. Here we go. All right, you're not eligible, but all right, man, you are going to pick the winner. Is it contestant number 1? Or is it going to be contestant I think I know, but let's one more time. For number one, and number two. All right, All-Star. What do you think? And let's give it to the young lady. Congratulations, you're walking home with a prize tag from Florence Family Dental. Friendly Dental.
8-hole man Zach Taylor to step in the box for the Gateway Grizzlies, who are in front of the Freedom 3-2 as we move into the top of the 7th of a 9-inning game here in Florence, Kentucky. Freedom starter Mike Castellani back on the bump, and a first pitch fastball and a line drive twisting away from Reichenborn and falling in the right center gap, rolling all the way to the wall. Zach Taylor will make sure his helmet stays on as he slows up, and will be content with a stand-up double. Another extra base hit for the Gateway Grizzlies, who have lined up a couple of those in each of their last 2 at-bats. And have another insurance run. 180 feet away from home plate with nobody out.
I think Castellani has lost a little bit of his touch and also some of his movement. That ball is kind of left up in the zone too. You know, he's going to fill the zone, but sometimes it's still important. You still want to pinpoint a certain part of the plate, whether it's outside, high and away, low and away, high and in, or high and inside, or just working, different eye levels, high or low. But we stay middle in, middle away still. It's going to be tough as a pitcher to try and overcompensate that.
As you can see on the live stream, Freedom pitching coach Brian White utilizing that opportunity to go out and have a quick word with his southpaw hurler Mike Castellani. New man in the box is Tyler Plantier. In his first day as a Gateway Grizzly, and the 9-hole hitter. Back foot fastball will miss. Too low, and it's 1-0. Plantier 1 for 2 tonight. Not a bad start to his Grizzly career. 1-0 pitch. Goes after a breaking ball, was way ahead of it. Swung and missed. Evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Gateway with 3 runs on 8 hits tonight. They've made 1 mistake defensively. Mike Castellani set at the belt in the 1-1 pitch. Back foot breaking ball, but too low for ball 2.
Oh my goodness. Starting to get it's beautiful here at the ballpark. The sun creeping in a little bit. The skies are starting to turn pink.
Yeah, where's the sun coming from at almost 9 o'clock at night?
Yeah. It's gorgeous though.
Lefty deals the 2-1. A little weak tapper towards the Grizzlies dugout will even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I think that was a really good move by Brian White, just coming out, speaking to Castellani, trying to calm him down a little bit. Still let him know, hey, this is a 1-run game. I still need you to throw strikes, good strikes. And he's really kind of fought back here.
Castellani staring at second as he started the motion home when a breaking ball is fouled off the foot in the batter's box. Count won't budge. It remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Freedom looking for their first out here in the top of the 7th. See a man standing at second, Zach Taylor, who led off the frame with the 2-bagger, splitting the gap in right center field. Plantier out of the University of Richmond, the California native. Lonnie deals the 2-2. Comebacker, hot shot, and through into center field. We'll see if Phil Warren will wave the base runner. He will not. He'll hold Zach Taylor, who is the catcher and not the most fleetest of foot at third base. The Gateway continuing to rake here in the 7th inning. Got 4 hits in their 2-run 6th. Now back-to-back base knocks here in inning number 7. And they got runners at the corners. Still nobody out.
No, it's really good that they didn't hold him up because Reichenborn already has an outfield assist on the young season. He hasn't even played 10 games yet, but also the Freedom do have Sean Watkins warming up in the bullpen.
Back to the top of the order for the Gateway Grizzlies. Brent Sakurai stepping in, 0 for 3 tonight. Lefty sets, and the first pitch on the way to Sakurai shows bunt. It's a back foot breaking ball, and Galeno just saved a run. Sliding over towards the batter to body up. that deucer.
Yeah.
1-0 will be the count. But the score remains 3-2, and that's the biggest thing. That's a tough pitch to get in front of.
Oh, yeah.
A nice job behind the plate by Galino. Lefty readies, and the 1-0. Same spot, this time with the fastball, low and in. And it's 2-0 to Sakurai. Freedom do have, as you mentioned, Sean Watkins starting to throw in their bullpen. We'll see if Castellani is able to get through this 7th frame. Leno sets up in for the 2-0. Here it is, a swinging strike as Sakurai sends a foul ball back to the netting for the first strike of the sequence. Now 2-1.
One thing I'd like to mention, too, going back to the first pitch of the at-bat with Galino's stop, so much kudos to him in that because you're concentrating on the curveball that's spiked in the turf and also the batter who's trying to do a safety squeeze, perhaps, to try and increase their lead. So that was a really good job by Galino.
Now a big 2-1 pitch from Castellani. Goes breaking ball, but it stayed outside the whole way. Looks like maybe the lefty's starting to fatigue a little bit. It's been miraculous this season for the Freedom and has gone 8 innings in each of his last 2 starts. He's trying to dig deep just to make sure he can finish the 7th here tonight. Game 1 with the Gateway Grizzlies. Fastball at 83 is going to miss above the belt. That's going to be a walk. You don't see that from Mike Castellani very often. In fact, that is going to be his first base on balls tonight. Here in inning number 7 to the leadoff man, Brent Sakurai, and the bases are juiced. Still no one out.
Honestly, I don't mind that walk. I really don't because now you have a force at any base. You could sacrifice a run and get a double play. You know, it'd still be a 2-run game, but this team is very competent and very forceful at the plate. They can come back easily. So, especially with a left-handed batter in Sean Dunston. So that's probably why Castellani's staying in this game right now.
Dunston was part of that 2-run top half of the 6th. In fact, he started the rally with a 2-bagger. No margin for error for the Freedom, and Mike Castellani with the bases juiced and the 2-hole man at the plate. First pitch fastball at 85 with a little extra zip is too far in. His count's going to be 1-0 to Dunston. Lonnie deals the 1-0 and misses down and away. This one at 86. But the second ball.
The time is really starting to crunch here for Mike Castellani. And obviously, you can see Galino going to go talk to him. He's got to get him right in the zone here because 2-0, you cannot get behind 3-0 and then get 3-1 with this batter. Very dangerous hitter, as we mentioned. He lined out to Pintor at third in the 3rd inning. Then he hit that ground rule double just last inning in the right field. So it's so imperative that he throws a good whatever your best pitch is right here, you're throwing it 2-0. You have to get it over the plate.
Hate to groove it right down Broadway to this guy, though, with 3 men on base.
That is true.
2-0. It is the heat, and it's on the outside black. That's a good spot for it. 2-1.
Yeah, good spot indeed. Mixing up the eye level, too. It wasn't down Broadway. It was just up a little bit, like you said. It's a good spot.
Castellani gets a quick sign from Galino, who will set up in for the 2-1. Here's a pitch. Little nubber. Pop fly, third base side. Pintor will have no problem getting to this one and squeezing it for a big first out. Mike Castellani trying to channel his inner Carl Craigie here.
I was just thinking that.
A different Freedom southpaw who saw the bases get loaded yesterday in River City with nobody out and was able to strike out the side to preserve at the time a 2-2 game before the Freedom would win it in extras just 1 inning later. But Mike Castellani is not going to be afforded that privilege. Dennis Pelfrey out of the Freedom first base dugout, and that will do it for Lonnie tonight. He battled. He was tough. And depending on what happens throughout the rest of this inning, he might have just had himself another quality start here at UC Health Stadium. We'll step aside for a short break. The new pitcher will be Sean Watkins. No margin for error. Bases juiced. 1 out in a 3-2 game. The Freedom Trail on the Freedom Broadcasting Network.
This is a people of all genders, ethnicities, and sexual orientations. They are sponsored tonight by the Eifert family, the Women's Crisis Center. I think that's what it is tonight. Now pitching for your Freedom, number 3, Sean Watkins. Presented by Heritage Bank.
Dennis Pelfrey calling on the 5'10", 185-pound rookie 2. Out of San Bruno, California, Sean Watkins with the bases loaded and 1 out. The Freedom trailing the Gateway Grizzlies 3-2 here in the top of the 7th inning. But a huge point in this ball game you have to expect, Rob. Trying to find 2 more outs before the Gateway Grizzlies can score even just 1 more run.
No, absolutely. But Dennis Pelfrey made the right move here. Sean Watkins has faced 3 batters with bases loaded, has not allowed a hit yet. So obviously there's some, math problems to that equation, I should say. But obviously Watkins has dialed into. He's brought that ERA down to almost a sub-4 ERA because he came in just a couple weeks ago with almost a 13 ERA. So he's looked really sharp. We'll see if he can do it right here.
He's facing Andrew Daniel, the 3-hole man for the Grizzlies. 1 out, the bases loaded. Here's the first pitch from the right-hander to Daniel. Fastball on the inside edge at 88 for a called strike. Daniel singled his last time up. Followed that Sean Dunston ground rule double. Came around to score a run. Both Dunston and Daniel scoring. As Gateway took their first lead 3-2 in the 6th and are trying to add to it here in their very next at-bat. 0-1 pitch on the way. It's the breaking ball at 77, and more good work behind the plate by Mike Galino as his mask goes flying. But he bodies up the baseball. The count's 1-1.
Yeah, Galino has looked real nice behind the dish, too. Saving a couple wild pitches in this game really could be the defining factor, however this game turns up in the 9th.
This is the 9th appearance of the season for the right-hander Watkins. 1-1, stays with the breaking ball. Man, some sharp late movement, but maybe too much as it bites too far off the outside third. 2 balls and 1 strike to Andrew Daniel. Here's the rest of Watkins' line. 9th appearance, he has spanned 8 1/3 innings. Opponents hitting just .219 off him. He's tallied up 6 strikeouts, but he's walked 8. That's been his one concern. A lot of those early in his Freedom career, however. Here's a fastball popped up out of play directly over the top of us as the count moves to 2-2. We talked about it a little bit before the broadcast began earlier tonight, Rob, how good the Freedom bullpen has been of late.
Yeah, no, 3.09 ERA to be, as a matter of fact, for the bullpen in the late stages of this ballgame, too, is where it's so crucial because you go back just 2 to 3 weeks ago, that ERA was near 4, and we were kind of struggling when we got to that 5th or 6th inning, but it's almost been reversed in a way. This bullpen has been sharp and dominant, really stepping up in big situations, going back to Carl Craigie.
2-2, fastball swung on and missed. It may have been foul tip, but it won't matter. Galino squeezes. And a big second out for Sean Watkins.
But no, just to kind of finish my thought, though, I mean, just right there, strikeout swinging, bases loaded. That's 4 at-bats now where Watkins has not allowed a hit with the bases juiced. And for most other pitchers and other stats or organizations, the 9 other organizations, that might be, heart pounding. Like you feel your heart out of your chest for this. These guys are built for this. They're used to it. So we'll see if we can get out of this right here.
Jamie Smart's a tough hitter. He's the next man in the box for the Grizzlies, and he's somehow ahead of a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, but comes up empty, falling behind 0-1. I guess when the guy throws cheese, you're just trying to get that foot down and start the swing. No real time to react. Smart singled his last time up, is 1 for 3 tonight. Here's the 0-1, nearly hits him. Fastball at 89, too far in. Count runs even. A ball and a strike to the Grizzlies' first baseman. Gateway had the bases loaded with nobody out. But a pop out and a strikeout have changed the complexion of the inning for now. Watkins digging deep in search of that final third out here in the top of the 7th inning. Trying to preserve the 1-run margin at 3-2. 1-1 pitch, a fastball. Looked to be on the black, but maybe below the knees. But it's called ball 2 to Smart.
Now, one thing, too, people at home can notice this, too. Caleb Lopez is playing usually his normal depth at second base. Me, personally, I like to see him play a little bit more deeper in the hole, perhaps, in that 4-hole, because he's grounded out to second base twice. And you want to try and preserve, another run in case it is a tough play.
Watkins is set at the belt, and the 2-1 pitch. Fouled straight back to the screen. Evens the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuces all over the board.
And that's one thing, too. It's a testament to Dennis Pelfrey. We've mentioned this on numerous broadcasts. Freedom, they feel like they have 4 shortstops, and they also feel like they have 3 center fielders. So Lopez definitely would love to see a play here in the backhand, perhaps. Very versatile player.
Righty is set, takes a big deep breath ahead of the 2-2. Here's the pitch. Nasty breaking ball, but a great take as Smart saw it down for ball 3. The old back foot slider. Galino out for a quick word as Watkins has really reached the boiling point here. 3 balls, 2 strikes with the bases loaded. Nowhere to put this guy. And a massive payoff pitch upcoming. Smart in his 2nd professional year, but his first with the Gateway Grizzlies. He was acquired in a trade with the Lincoln Salt Dogs of the American Association. Here's the payoff. Popped up on the infield. Wobrock and Pintor give chase. Looks like Luis is going to battle the lights and some wind, but squeeze it. And you can hear the Freedom crowd roar. That is a massive effort by a couple of different pitchers. Mike Castellani battling tough in the 7th, and Sean Watkins slamming the door, finding 2 quick outs, including a strikeout, as the Freedom will continue to trail by just 1. Time to stretch at UC Health Stadium. You're listening to Florence Freedom Baseball on the Freedom Broadcasting Network.
Dr. B wants to remind you, get up and stretch. Something that doesn't quite feel right with your body, right? Right now, we're going to head down to the third base dugout, where the All-Star is standing by, and we've got the folks from Clarios down there. They're going to lead us in hit me out to the ball game. Honestly, now let's go up for the folks from Clarios. This game will quickly change. We're brought to you by the Center Hospital hiring under Multnomah Grizzlies. Number 4, Vincent Seaver. Now pitching. for the Freedom this summer. Partnering with Freedom, and you can do $2 off any youth picture, Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky Apparel location. Check the back of your pink ticket for more details from Panera. And that's also on your pink ticket, you'll find a $10 off coupon for your next $50 purchase at Dick's Sport Goods every season. Starts at Dick's.
Bases loaded, nobody out. The Freedom have you right where they want you. More masterful work by Mike Castellani and Sean Watkins to finish the frame. As Mike Castellani will finish his night after 6 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, only 2 earned, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. And it's now officially a battle of the bullpens as Gateway Grizzlies manager Phil Warren will call on a southpaw of his own. A rookie 1. Where's number 4? And his name is Jason Seaver, who will face Luis Pintor to start the bottom of the 7th, a 3-2 game. Grizzlies in front. First pitch breaking ball. Pintor showed bunt, pulled back, and wisely so. Watches this wayward breaker miss off the outer edge.
It'll be interesting to see, too, with Phil Warren with his scouting report. The bottom of the order for the Freedom absolutely rake against left-handed pitching. Mike Galino, Connor Crane, and Luis Pintor all batting above 300. So it'll be an interesting move to see if the Freedom can get something going.
Fastball at 86 is going to miss too tall. 2-0. That's an excellent nugget. Perhaps Phil Warren, well, really, it's just Wobrock as far as lefties.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's looking for the situational lefty.
Yeah.
Maybe a good break for the Freedom. A 2-0 fastball's popped up first base side. Giving chase is Jamie Smart and the catcher Zach Taylor, but neither one of them will have a play as this pop fly ends up in the 7th row of yellow seats down the first base side here at UC Health Stadium. Count now 2 balls and 1 strike on Luis Pintor. Here are the numbers for Jason Seaver. He's been outstanding. This is his 18th appearance. He's 1-0. He has a .49 ERA. Opponent's hitting .203 against this slightly built lefty who's all of 5'11", 190. Rocker steps into the windup and a 2-1 to Luis, fouled straight back to the screen. Pintor having no problem sizing up that 85-mile-an-hour fastball. He was right on it. But the count now even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Seaver has 17 strikeouts to 6 walks over 18 1/3 innings here in 2019 with the Grizzlies. 2-2 pitch on the way to Luis now, and that's going to be called strike 3 on the inside edge. Boy, that looked like it might have been tight.
No, it really did. It looked inside quite a bit. And also, to keep in mind, too, that Taylor was kind of set up on the outside part of the plate, so he had to snag his glove back on the inside part of that corner. Usually you don't get that call, but when you're an umpire and you're standing on the inside part, right where the right-handed batter is and the catcher, you have an open view, but still, with 2 strikes, got to swing on that, anything close.
Here is that one left-handed hitter. It's Wobrock. He goes after a first-pitch fastball, hits a 3-hopper to short. Sakurai ranging in the hole and throwing across his body in the nick of time. A bang-bang play at first base and a phenomenal look at the glove work from Brent Sakurai, who closed on that slow chopper, had no momentum going towards first, and somehow got that baseball to Jamie Smart before Wobrock arrived at the bag.
No, and he's lucky he did, because if there would have been a runner on first base with 1 out with Galino and Crane coming up, it would have been very, very dangerous, because Crane and Galino cause havoc against left-handed pitching.
Galino stepping in now. Seaver looking for a really quick bottom of the 7th. Change up at 72. It's going to just miss off the outer third. 1-0, a good start for Mike Galino. A quick 1-2-3 inning would be just what the Grizzlies were looking for, as the Freedom kind of salvaging some momentum despite the fact they were trailing after escaping that bases loaded, nobody out situation. Another fastball will miss too far outside. And it's quickly 2-0 to Galino. The Freedom would like to utilize some of that momentum they got, straining 3 men on base. They'll have to do it with some 2-out magic here at the bottom of the 7th. Fastball, that looks to be right down Broadway, and it was. Called a strike, 2-1 now on the catcher, Galino.
I wouldn't be surprised either if Galino really finds a gap here, or Connor Crane, because we faced Connor Eller as well, who was one of those other dominant lefty
for Schaumburg,
specialists.
right?
Yeah, for Schaumburg. So there's no, even though that ERA is very, very low, this Freedom offense, they still haven't faced this Freedom offense. You know what I mean? So this is still a very dangerous situation. And, that's sometimes where you have to overlook the statistics in a way because anything can happen at any given point. The Freedom still has 7 outs to work with offensively.
Mike with a homer, 2 doubles, and a .385 batting average against lefties. And he'll watch this ball miss too far inside for the 3rd ball in the sequence. 3-1 now the count. Catcher way ahead. 2 outs, nobody on. At the bottom of the 7th, a 1-run game. Gateway in front, 3-2, and that's ball 4. A fastball misses up and out. And the Freedom will get that 2-out base runner they so often do. And another man that sees lefties well, and Connor Crane will get his shot with the Freedom down to their last out.
No, he absolutely will. Has 4 home runs on left-handed pitching, 11 for 33. So there's that .333 batting average versus lefties. Very, very dangerous. 10 ribbies as well, and obviously they're probably going to take a left-hander out of this game.
Does not look to be Phil Warren making his way out to the mound, but rather their pitching coach, James Frisbee. We'll see if he has the authoritative power to make a pitching change or if he just wants to meet with everybody and lean on the guy that has the best numbers of anybody in that Gateway Grizzlies bullpen, and Seaver with that .49 ERA. The Freedom will pinch run for Mike Galino. Lightning speed at first base now as Brandon Pugh will check in for the catcher.
I like the move. I really do. I really like that move by Dennis Pelfrey because that's the great thing about having 3 catchers on your 24-man roster. You have guys who can do it all defensively, and also you have guys you can pull off the bench to put in the base paths in a tough game where it's 3-2. Brandon Pugh he's got 9 stolen bags on the season, and he hasn't even been here that long, so very dangerous indeed.
And I would be thinking that Dennis made that move with stealing second at top of mind. Connor Crane digs in. Seaver now working from the third base side of the rubber from the stretch with Pugh at first. And a first pitch fastball will find the outside corner for a called strike. Count 0-1 on the lefty masher, Crane.
I have that eerie feeling where this could be a chance where he really does some damage in the batter's box.
Lefty will pick to first base. Afraid of that stolen base. The Pugh back in without a slide. Brandon, an absolute weapon on the base paths and off to a walking lead. And he'll continue to get a little bit bigger. He takes off early. Got a great jump on this breaking ball. That's going to be called a strike on the inner half, but they will not even throw to second. Pugh, too quick. He's in scoring position. But boy, a breaking ball that didn't look to be all that close. Called a strike as the count moves to 0-2 on Connor with 2 outs.
Now that was a great jump by Brandon Pugh. It's kind of one of those do or die situations. You just kind of base it off of a time pitching. So that's something he's been looking at for the first 3 batters before he got on base.
Florence has the tying run in scoring position. But Crane in a 2-strike abyss. As Seaver has to step off, failing to come to a consensus with his catcher, Zach Taylor.
No, you want to talk about clutch, though. 350th runners in scoring position with 2 outs.
0-2, number foul off the very end of the bat. Connor sends this slow roller right to the top step of the Freedom dugout. And the count will remain 0-2.
It's crazy to think how you basically have a cleanup hitter in the 9-hole. I mean, he has 11 ribbies in situations like this. Like I said, with runners in scoring position with 2 outs. That's just insane. You just don't see that. It's unheard of in the Frontier League. I don't see that with any other team, all the other 9 teams. That's something special about Florence.
Another something special about Florence is their crowd in games like this. You heard the roar after they escaped that bases loaded situation in the top half of the 7th. They are itching for something to celebrate over here in the bottom of the 7th. Seaver has to step off again, but gets right back on. Glove resting up against his chest as he gets a quick sign from Taylor. Lefty sets at the chest in the 0-2 pitch to Connor. A nasty slider, but a good take. Misses down low. 1-2.
That was a good waist pitch, but still dangerous too. Crane likes to hit the low pitches just as much as he does the high pitches. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what he goes here with a 1-2 count. He has 3 balls to give still. but still has to get that one strike past a dangerous hitter.
Can you get a fastball and a 1-2 count? Here's the pitch. He will not. It's off speed and it's popped up on the infield. Jamie Smart and Zach Taylor fighting over who's going to make the call. It will be the catcher who makes the call and the catch in foul ground. And the Freedom do threaten, but they cannot scratch across the run. They'll strand Brandon Pugh at second. And the score remains 3-2. Grizzlies in front as we move on to the 8th. Here in Florence, Kentucky, you're listening to Florence Freedom Baseball in the opening game of a 4-game series with the Gateway Grizzlies on the Freedom Broadcasting Network.
A little lick to the party. All right, Bottles. On your mark, get set, and down. Big shot by right, but in the process, he loses his head. So first round goes to traditional rocker. Sometimes being extra aggressive is backfires. All right, on your mark, set to go. And that's the front way, loses his head, and that's the long one there. Traditional Walker, the winner, that means he is now with $7. At our concession stand, over on the first base side, it is at the St. Pete concession stand. Gambling Traditional Walker, now $1 for the rest of this game. Now, catch it from Berkeley at number 22, Ryan Rinsky. Presented by City.
Moving right along into the top of the 8th, the 1-run game, the Freedom trail to the Gateway Grizzlies 3-2. And in for the play-by-play, my partner, Rob Rundle.
Thanks, Aaron, once again. And this is the first of a 4-game homestand, I should say series, against the Gateway Grizzlies. Freedom on the road next week. Hawkins likes to work from the stretch, per usual. Has a little bit more breathing room after that bases loaded. After he was able to escape the bases loaded jam, counts 1-0 and a pitch low and away. Sean Watkins has really been something else out there on the mound in just the past 2 to 3 weeks. His demeanor on the mound, his velocity has been up as well. 1-0 pitch, swing on a miss on an 86-mile-per-hour fastball. And Rensky, the new catcher who actually came in since Brandon Pugh was the pinch runner for Galeno there in the bottom of the 7th inning, is going to go talk to Watkins just to try and clear some things up. But no, Sean Watkins has looked dominant on the mound. Seen that fastball touch 90, even 91 at one point. Sean Watkins stands at 5'10", 185, using all 5'10" of his body when he throws those fastballs. Able to hum it in there. He's a rookie 2 player. He's in his first professional season with the Freedom. 73-mile-per-hour curveball misses downstairs. 2-1 to Matt Brown, the designated hitter. Also seen some pretty good debuts so far for the Freedom. Kind of most recently, Hayden Wheeler, who relieved in the first game of the River City series, went 2 innings strong, allowed 1 hit and struck out 4. 2-1 pitch. Wow. Looked low, but calling for a strike. We'll take that. Counts 2-2. But that just goes to show, I mean, this a lot of good debuts so far for the Freedom. Reichenborn, Spivey, and Wheeler kind of made a knocking door welcoming. Watkins from the stretch, 2-2. Rinsky picks it out of the turf. An 88-mile-per-hour fastball. Count runs full, 3-2, and so important that he doesn't walk the leadoff guy.
And lost in all this tonight, the Freedom with just 3 hits. They had 2 base knocks in their first at bat. So just 1 hit over their over their last 5 innings. It's not going to help the pitching staff get some run support.
Payoff pitch. That's a high fly ball above the lights, but Bernard seems to have it as he just camps under it in left field. Scoots a little bit to his left and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Good job by Sean Watkins not to lose the batter as he faces Connor Owings now, the third baseman. Sean Watkins has retired the first 3 batters he's faced.
Yeah, he's looking very good and very confident of late. After the tough start to the season, he could have gone either way, but he has buckled down, and he has really started to perfect his craft. You will not find a more difficult situation to inherit than what he escaped in the 7th inning.
In that 7th inning, it was bases loaded with 1 out in a 3-2 tight contested ball game. Every pitch mattered, and he was able to escape it. Connor Owings takes an inside fastball for ball 1, counts 1-0. And Connor Owings also, he's 0 for 3 on the day, but he has made some noise. Hit a hard ground ball to Pintor in the 2nd, and also a tough play by Crane right down the right field line in the 4th inning. And then he also reached on the fielder's choice. So he's made contact in all 3 at bats. The 1-0 pitch gets away from Rinsky, counts 2-0, but no one's on base. No worries.
Yeah, good time for that.
Yeah. So now Watkins is going to have to work it back, and it's felt amazing here today. A little warm just to begin, but after that 30-second downpour, it actually cooled off just a little bit. Not muggy. Beautiful night here. One of the first good nights here in the past week, as it felt like it's rained every single day. 2-0 pitch. Looks like he was swinging for Newport on that one. And that's going to be strike 1.
He really was. I think he left one of his shoes in the left-handed batter's box there.
Connor Owens takes a deep breath, and maybe he'll realize he's got to calm down a little bit. Watkins likes to work from the third base side of the rubber, as you can see faintly on the broadcast. 2-1 pitch, misses low, counts 3-1 as Watkins falls behind. We'll see if he can battle back like he did in that first at bat.
It's a good thing, excuse me, Rob. It's a good thing you had the webcam. Otherwise, our listening audience would be staring at our ugly mugs the entire game as we were talking.
No, honestly, yeah. 3-1 pitch, just a bit outside, looked good, but called for ball 4, so they do have a runner on first base with 1 out. But, yeah, like they said, we have faces for radio, right?
That's right.
Faces for radio, but, hey, it is what it is. But
they may have preferred this to not be on the air at that point.
Yep. But that'll bring up Luke Lowry, the right fielder.
No, but that's really worked out great, having the
Yeah, it really has.
the camera, since we can't have bump music and spots and everything to enhance the glitz and glamour of the broadcast. At least our audience, for the first time all season, is able to watch the game and also hear our broadcast. So, a little something.
Pretty cool. Plan B always seems to work out. That ball is smashed back to the screen for strike 1.
And Mixler, as they have really enjoyed the last couple of days, continuing to be nothing but vague about when exactly everything will be fixed. Just updating their Twitter feed about every 4 hours or so with another vague update. Making progress, hoping for sometime this weekend.
It's bad PR. Bad PR.
Been a real bad look.
Runner takes off. Rinsky from his knees. And that's off. It looked like it hit off his face of Connor Owings as he slides in safely at second base. It kind of reminded me of Stephen Piscotty when he got hit 3 times in one little setting. Do you remember that?
No, I'm just laughing at that. It looked like it hit off his face.
It did. It looked like it hit right off of his face. But maybe it's his elbow because he's rubbing his right elbow now.
I think it was the elbow, but that was funny.
It looked like it hit off his face. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. It really did from up here at least. But he's bouncing a second. He gets his secondary lead. 1-1 pitch misses upstairs. Counts 2-1. You just love that, don't you, Brody?
I don't know why it was funny. I think it's because I felt strongly that it wasn't, but not laughing if he was to wear that directly off
right
the mouth or anything, but that was funny.
2-1 pitch. All looked to be right on the black, but did not get the call. been there all day, but count is 3-1 once again. And Joe Harris, give me a break. Being kind of sporadic with his calls behind the dish. Rinsky set up right outside, snagged it right in the corner, but didn't get the call. But Hawkins with the 3-1 pitch, swung on and missed, and he's going to have to try and get one himself as count runs full, 3-2. The runner on second base. The score is 3-2 here in the top of the 8th inning with 1 out. Grizzlies looking for their first victory against the Freedom in the 2019 season. Florence did sweep the Grizzlies at their ballpark not so long ago. Payoff pitch, swung on and misses. He was way behind it. Thanks for playing. Take a seat as he's kind of animated about his strikeout, and he drops his bat because he doesn't know what he's doing, and that'll bring up Zach Taylor.
Now, one thing you kind of perfectly led me to enlighten our listening audience to here is the struggles the Gateway Grizzlies have had against the Freedom. Nate Gatter, the broadcaster, a terrific one at that for the Grizzlies, telling us before the game they are 5-22 their last 27 against the Freedom, including an 0-for-12 back in 2017 when the Freedom were that 61-35 club that sat atop the West all year.
Inside out pitch as it's found as the rain starts, a light rain starts to fall here at UC Health Stadium. Comfortable mist. Counts 0-1, but when trailing after the 7th, the Freedom are 2-7. So crunch time is really going to have to happen here for the offensive staff when they come back in to the bottom half of the frame. Hawkins from the stretch, 0-1, misses high at the eyes. On an 85-mile-per-hour fastball, counts 1-1.
And it's really amazing what just that one run of difference has meant for the Freedom this year when they're tied after 7 innings, 4-1. Tied after 8, 3-1.
Yeah.
But if they're trailing, they can't get the same life and productivity offensively to take place in the late stages.
1-1 pitch. Looked good, but just missing the inside part of the plate to the right-handed batter. Counts 2-1. But the Freedom have been down before with their last strike.
Well,
it was actually exactly against Gateway.
2-0 game, down to their last strike, found a way to score 2 to force extras, wound up winning that game 3-2. That's kind of become one of the more famous games. I know we reference it a lot, but the Freedom do fight. So that's kind of a weird statistic to see them struggle when they're behind late.
2-1 fastball, swung on and missed, swinging out of his shoes. Counts 2-2, but also you just look back at the River City series with Andre Mercurio.
Right.
And also Wilbrock.
Yeah, that was a 2-1 game in the 7th inning that Wilbrock tied up with two outs. So that's actually one of the wins in that category. But when they're tied, as they were 2-2 in the second game yesterday, got the 3 runs they needed immediately. Everything's just easier.
2-2 fastball missing outside as Rinsky was set up on the inside part of the plate. Counts 3-2. We'll see another payoff pitch for the 3rd time this inning.
And mentally, part of that does make sense. When you're tied, you're not behind, so it's not quite as stressful.
Yeah.
Everything can kind of fall into place a little bit easier. When you're behind in the late stages, there's just that extra bit of pressure and stress in every plate appearance that has festered and been difficult to overcome. But you know what? The Freedom have loved rallying against bullpens. A lot of times their struggles have been to starters that kind of were in a groove throughout the course of a contest, but that bullpen comes in, everything changes. We'll see if Jason Seaver comes back out in the 8th for Gateway or if they go to a new guy, but the Freedom do like to welcome new pitchers.
Payoff pitch found just to the right of us here in the upper level. We'll try again at a full count in. Something to keep in mind, too, the Southern Illinois Miners right now are losing to Schaumburg 5-3 in the bottom of the 5th. So Southern Illinois is holding on to that 8-game winning streak, and I'm sure they're peeking over at our score, too. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The two teams tied atop the West at 22-12. Southern Illinois having won 8 games in a row and really haven't been able to gain much ground on the Freedom. They're still just tied with them at the top of the West Division standings.
River City also down 5-1 against Joliet. Payoff pitch once again, the exact same spot just to the right of us up here in the press box. We'll try again at 3-2. Yeah, Joliet is leading River City as well, 5-1, but River City really kind of fell off a little bit. They're 1 game above 500, but still, this West Division is so tough.
Well, and not to overly pat the Freedom on the back. Of course, I'm not going to be afraid to do that, but the kind of losses River City had yesterday with the Freedom are the kind of losses that can create a funk. When you have a bases loaded, nobody out situation, 1-run scores to win, and you can't get the job done, and then you lose a similar game in game 2, that can really build on a team, wear on them mentally.
Payoff pitch, and that gets to the right side of the infield as Ramirez comes up, and he's going to, and he bobbles it. But that's going to be a base hit. That would have been a tough play at the plate. So that's going to be an RBI single to right field, plating Connor Owings. It will not be an error on Ricky Ramirez Jr. because it would have been a tough play at the plate.
And the runner at first didn't get second on the bobble either. You can never assume you would have hosed the guy at home, although we may put our money down that Ricky would have. But you can't assume it. And since there was no backside advance by the guy who hit the baseball, as I try to dive and rescue our game notes from blowing off the press box down to the third row in front of us, that will not be an error. Just another base hit for Gateway. Has their total up to 10 tonight.
10 hits on the Freedom pitching staff. Timely hitting as well. The score is 4-2 now as they extend it. First pitch right over the heart of the plate for strike one. And it's kind of interesting to see how Lanphier would come out here and kind of reminded me of 2013 Homer Bailey. In his start against Washington, he only went an inning and a third, gave up 11 earned runs, but bounced back immediately, having a no-hitter in 8 2/3 innings before giving it up on a single. 0-1 pitch, misses low, counts 1-1, and then he came back once again against the same team against Windy City, and he gave up 7 earned runs. So didn't really know what we were going to see, especially with the Freedom scoring first in the first inning. Kind of felt like we were going to see maybe that Washington-type game or maybe that late Windy City game that Lanphier faced against. But last time he faced off against us, they actually lost 4-3. 1-1 pitch finds the heart of the plate for strike two, counts 1-2.
Taylor Bryant, the guy to thank for that 4-3 victory, his grand slam being the difference. The Freedom have actually won 2 games this year, getting just a grand slam, and that being enough with how good their pitching staff has been. Mike Galino knows all about that as well. That was actually a 4-0. Actually, no, that became 4-3 in the last inning as well.
4-3, hit his grand slam in the second inning. 1-2 pitch, and that's going to be a sharp hit line drive as Reichenbach can't get to it in time. It's going to fall in for another single as they just passed the torch. As now it's runners on first and second with 2 outs.
That's one of the toughest plays you'll have to make on turf in center field for Tyler Reichenborn, because you want to try to hustle in, make the diving play if there's an opportunity for the third out in the frame, get your offense back to the plate. But you also don't want to overrun it where it takes that big hop off the UC Health Stadium turf and goes over your head, and suddenly 1 run scores and another guy is hustling around the bases with a shot at an inside the Parker. So a good job to hustle in, but when he realized he wasn't going to be able to make the diving play, he slammed on the brakes and was able to jump and snag that big hop out there in center.
And that will bring in the rookie one, Southpaw, who just signed recently, and Hayden Wheeler. We're going to step aside for a brief moment, but we'll be back with stats on Wheeler.
We recognize the Iceberg family for sponsoring tonight's fundraiser for the women's variety snack. I got the winning split the pops for their fundraiser. I got the winning ticket coming out here in just a moment.
Hayden Wheeler, the new pitcher for the Freedom here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The score is 4-2 as the Grizzlies have 4 runs on 11 hits and an error, and the Freedom have 2 runs on only 3 hits and also have an error as well. Hayden Wheeler, like we said before, he's a rookie one pitcher. He just signed recently. He played college baseball at Tabor College, and he also made his debut against the River City Rascals in that first game. And Aaron, he actually looked really good, went 2 innings, Only gave up 1 hit, and he struck out 4.
Yeah, and even that 1 hit he gave turned into an out on the bases. He was outstanding. Frank Valentino looking for a quality start. Saw runners at second and third. If any one of them would have scored, it would not have been a quality start. It was a similar situation to what we saw tonight with Sean Watkins, just not bases loaded, runners at second and third. But this lefty came in, promptly struck out the side. He's not going to throw it past anybody, but he has nasty off speed, a very sharp slider. He'll also throw an overhand curveball. So he's kind of got an east-west breaker, a 12-6 breaker. Uses a changeup a lot intermittently with his fastball. He can locate all of them. And he makes his 84 to 85 on our fastball look a lot faster with how well he uses off speed. And he certainly used that off speed well the other night.
We'll see if he does it right here in a tough situation for the Freedom. They're down 4-2 with runners on first and second with 2 outs. Look to come in and get the leadoff batter in Brent Sakurai, the shortstop, out. First pitch is 76 miles per hour right down Broadway on the off speed for strike 1. We've seen a lot of lefties in the Freedom pitching staff. You got Castellani, you got Carl Craigie, and Hayden Wheeler. A lot of good lefties. 0-1 pitch misses high and away. Counts 1-1.
Very crafty lefty.
Crafty lefty indeed. He has faced 3 batters with runners in scoring position, so
struck them all out.
Yep, used to the situation. Long hold. And it's popped up to the right side here at UCL Stadium as there's plenty of real estate, but just out of reach for Connor Crane as he couldn't get to it in time. But he is ahead in the count, 1-2. And Sakurai is 0 for 3 in the day. He did reach first base, though, on a fielder's choice and also a base on balls in the 7th. He was also behind in the count. Not this time, though. Wheeler, long hold, deep breath. High leg kick. And check swing. Yes, he did. Make it strikeout number 5 on the season. Comes in, gets the out that the Freedom need. Great job by the rookie one, Southpaw. So we'll head to the top, to the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll look for some late inning magic by the Freedom hitting staff here. So keep it locked on the Freedom Broadcasting Network. The score is 42 in the Grizzlies' favor.
Well, he does that. We got to as the roots. Let's hear it back at the ballpark. Like Williams Price is back. There he goes. The Cincinnati Interior. UC Health. Crossroads. Well, ECYOT ball teams 4 and 9. And the birthday party for Zach Florence. Happy 6th birthday, Zach. And thank you for joining us here at UC Health Stadium. Event of the part of the growth and the dollar in 2019. For $2 for that round. VIP ticket purchase goes back to the bottle of the dollar house in Cincinnati. You will get a coupon for free value in your truck next dollar. This is a pitch exchange brought to you by Cintas Hiring in Irvine. On the mound, for the Grizzlies, number 16, Dakota Smith. Now, Stepping to the plate,
So back to the top of the order here at UC Health Stadium for the Freedom, as it's Isaac Bernard, Tyler Reichenborn, and Ricky Ramirez Jr. looking to claw their way back into this game. It's 4-2 in the Grizzlies' favor. New pitcher is Dakota Smith for the Grizzlies. Dakota Smith has a 2.75 ERA and 19 appearances so far. First pitch at 92 on the gun. Misses high and away for ball one. Has 19 appearances. He's got that whip just above a 1, about a 1.05. Has struck out 27 batters and only walked 4. Likes to work from the first base side of the rubber. 1-0 pitch finds the outside corner to the left-handed batter of Bernard for strike one. Counts even up at 1-1.
Smith's a good one. In his second stint with the Gateway Grizzlies, he actually rejoins them here this season after a quick affiliated stint with the Boston Red Sox.
1-1 pitch, and at the knees, strike two. No, definitely a good one indeed. You can say that with a lot of pitchers on these staffs through all 10 organizations. 1-2 pitch to Bernard. So kind of pulls back on the 93-mile-per-hour heater. This is low. Counts 2-2.
We've talked a lot about the Freedom guys that are early in their pro careers and having tremendous success. A lot of Gateway guys, veterans in pro baseball, and Dakota Smith's one of them. This is his 5th season of pro ball, counting his affiliated years.
2-2 pitch. Misses away. Full count. Good opportunity here for the Freedom. We can get a leadoff guy on board. We set up Tyler Reichenborn, Ricky Ramirez Jr., and Andre Mercurio. Smith for the payoff pitch, found back to the screen towards the visitor's dugout. We'll try it again at 3 balls and 2 strikes. And one thing that's great about Bernard, he can catch up to the 92-mile-per-hour fastball. He can also wait back on a low 80-mile-per-hour off speed. He can shoot the ball to the left side of the field, to the right side of the field. Very good leadoff guys. Definitely solidified himself in that role. Smith from the stretch. The payoff pitch. Bernard goes down swinging, though, and this time, and that is the first out for the Freedom here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Yeah, Dakota Smith might be one of the very best relievers in all the Frontier League. If he doesn't break down, it's been injury issues that have really robbed him in his pro career, affiliated or in the Frontier League. He lost a lot of his 2018 season with the Gateway Grizzlies due to an elbow injury. He was masterful beforehand, suffered the injury and tried to pitch through it, and the wheels kind of came off, as it actually says in their game notes. Started to struggle, but he was trying to pitch when he probably shouldn't have been. When he's healthy, he's as good as it gets.
As good as it gets indeed. There's a curveball, right as it curves around the inside part of the plate to Tyler Reichenborn, the center fielder for tonight's affair. Counts 0-1. Right-handed opponents are only hitting a $159 against him this year. 0-1 pitch, same curveball, but didn't get the same break. Counts 1-1. Take a look back against left-handed batters as well. Dakota Smith. Left-handed batters actually do very well against him, usually hitting .323. Like you mentioned, when he's fully healthy, very devastating. 1-1 pitch, no doubt about it. 93 right on the black. Called for strike two, and this is some velo that the Freedom just haven't seen in recent counterparts.
Yeah, he's gusting it up there in a hurry. 93, 94 tonight.
For the stretch, once again, 1-2 pitch. Reichenborn goes down swinging on a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. There's 2 strikeouts now for Dakota Smith.
You just got to tip your cap to the Gateway Grizzlies. This game's not over yet, but through the first 8 innings here, call it, 7 2/3, they've just outplayed the Freedom tonight. I mean, it's actually surprising the score is as close as it is when you look at the hit column. The Grizzlies with 11 knocks, the Freedom with just 3, yet it's just a 2-run game, and it's actually Gateway that's gotten the unearned runs tonight off Mike Castellani. So it kind of goes to show how much production can yield little results for the Grizzlies tonight.
First pitch misses outside, but going back to what you were saying, Castellani was almost averaging almost 6 runs in run support this entire season, and obviously he didn't get that with the Freedom only having 2 so far. He did have another quality start, though.
He did, and
yeah,
I still think that 17-run outburst.
1-0 pitch misses low, 2-0.
that 17-run outburst that the Freedom offense put on the Wild Things that day. Castellani made the start, kind of inflated his numbers. His last win, a 2-0 victory. He's kind of starting to, unfortunately, experience what a lot of other pitchers have for the Freedom, little run support.
2-0 fastball misses outside as Harris does not make the call. Counts 3-0 to Ricky Ramirez Jr. Ricky, a very patient hitter as well. Start off the season, you would think very slow, only hitting like a $180, but he drew a lot of walks. He has 26 on the season, and he's gotten that batting average to 283. And wow, called for a strike as Ramirez drops his bat, but you know the love of respect Ramirez has. He picks his bat right back up, and he'll step up in the batter's box and try again. But no, Ricky Ramirez Jr. has gotten the OBP up to 455. That is almost half the times he's been on base. 3-1 pitch. Another called strike as Ramirez drops his bat again. And we're going to try. Counts full, and you got to think Ramirez might not get a call if it's anywhere close here.
Yeah, I'm thinking Dakota Smith might be able to roll it across the plate and get a strike call here now. Back-to-back pitches. Ramirez thinking he has first base, dropping the bat, starting the trot. You know, Joe Harris doesn't like it. But you know what? At the end of the day, Ricky's also in quite a groove offensively. It just takes one to do a little damage in a full count. Probably going to get something he can hit here.
Payoff pitch. Fouled back into the mitt of the catcher. And that's going to be the third out of the inning.
Struck out the side.
Struck out the side. All swinging. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the top of the 9th inning here at UC Health Stadium with the Grizzlies on top, 4-2. The Freedom will look to hold their lead and come back and try to win it in the bottom of the 9th. Keep it locked on the Freedom Broadcasting Network.
Green Eye or Iris and Iris. As they get ready to make the turn, the Red Eye still in the lead, coming down the line. Green Eye calling to third base. Looks like the Blue Eye making a late run. Red Eye still got this one. Green Eye in the bag. Barring any catastrophes. There it is. Let's give it up for the Red Eye. Green Eye and now. If you would like my all from the press box to next moment, we got also throw the other back here. On here.
No doubt about it. Hayden Wheeler earns another inning here at UC Health Stadium at the top of the 9th inning as I pass it to my partner in crime, Aaron Brody.
Thank you, Rob. 2, 3, 4 hitters due up for the Gateway Grizzlies. They're in front of the Florence Freedom 4-2 as we break ground in what could be the final inning tonight. A 9-inning affair, but the Freedom are 5-0 in extra inning games, and they have one at bat guaranteed to them yet. Trailing by just 2, Hayden Wheeler will face Sean Dunston, the 2-hole hitter for Phil Warren's Gateway Grizzlies, who shows bunt, pulls back, and watches a breaking ball at 68. Miss outside for ball 1. Mentioned Wheeler's not going to throw much past you, but the movement he has on his fastball and off speed so sharp, it really doesn't matter what the radar gun tells you. It's difficult to hit, as he's proven, getting 5 strikeouts in his first 2 1/3 innings of work this season. Here's a fastball that'll paint the outside edge, even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike with Dunston. Dunston just 1 hit tonight, but it was a meaningful one, a ground rule double that set up a 2-run frame for Gateway in the 6th, giving them their first lead of the night. Breaking ball misses badly down and away for ball 2. Now 2-1. Grizzlies scoring 1 in the 3rd, 2 in the 6th, 1 more for good measure in the 8th. An insurance run, tack-on style, to make the score 4-2. The Freedom getting 1 run in their first at bat, but just 1 more the rest of the way. That coming in the bottom of the 4th. Good off-speed pitch, the changeup. Dunston started to go, but he did not commit. No appeal granted for the Freedom. Joe Harris just making the call. Dunston did not go around, and the count is 3-1. Wheeler always from the stretch and on the first base side of the rubber. Open as he lowers the glove to the ready at the belt. 3-1, hard hit ground ball. Laying out his crane to the glove side. He'll get up, flip to Wheeler at first, and in the nick of time. Tremendous play, Connor Crane. Laying out and keeping Sean Dunston from enjoying a multi-hit game here in the 9th inning.
That's the second time we've seen Crane make an incredible play at first base, going back to the 4th inning when Owens smashed one down the right field line as well, and Crane came over and flipped it over to the pitcher covering. So great job, and that just shows good team chemistry right there for Wheeler, who hasn't even been here long, getting to the bag in the nick of time and getting the out.
Fighting back from 3-1 to win the war. Here comes Andrew Daniel. Wheeler deals. Line drive to center field. This is back. Reichenborn in a dead sprint to the track, reaches up, makes the nice running catch, and will slow up right in front of the McDonald's sign. About 380 feet away from home plate, but just a long out and a line drive from Andrew Daniel.
No, and I really like this pitching change from Pelfrey, going from the speed of Sean Watkins, 90 miles per hour, going to Hayden Wheeler, really switching it up, keeping them on their toes, keeping them off balance. That's something we've mentioned from time to time. Even Frankie Fresh Valentino said that too. You know, you got to keep them off balance. So good job so far by the Freedom.
First pitch on the way to Jamie Smarts. The knee buckling breaking ball on the outside black. 0-1. Wheeler's just 22 years old. Dennis Pelfrey always knows where to find tremendous talent as he continues to beef up his roster over the course of each season. Breaking ball, and again, spotted on the black. This one at 72, a little bit hotter than the one before it,
that's nasty,
but just as much life.
That is nasty, Aaron. I would take that any day. Your command, if you can just pinpoint your spots, it's just like going back to Greg Maddox. You don't have to throw the hardest. As long as you hit your spots, got movement on it, you're good.
Rinsky sets up out for the 0-2, and the changeup's buried. Rinsky has to lay out. Just good for the muscle memory. No one on base, but Rinsky so good defensively, and he's going to be the first guy to tell you that you don't become tremendous behind the plate by taking pitches or plays off with nobody on base. Always doing whatever he can to body up baseballs, regardless of the scenario. The 1-2 stays with the breaking ball, but this one's a little bit low, and you could see Jamie Smart flinched. He about fell over in the left-handed batter's box.
Yeah, he did, and it looked like Harris was about to pull the trigger on it too, but he didn't, and I really wish he did, but now he still has 2 balls to give. I think he should go back to that curveball.
2-2. It's the fastball at 82, but it's too far outside, and now it's a full count.
Even if you go back to a fastball here or curveball, you're going to keep him off balance because he doesn't know, because he's thrown a lot of curveballs early on in the counts. It's going to be interesting to see what Wheeler goes with right here.
A payoff pitch on the way from the lefty. Breaking ball called strike 3. Add one more strikeout to Hayden Wheeler's ledger, who's nodding emphatically as he traipses back into the Florence Freedom dugout. Stage is set. 2-run game. The Freedom need 2 to tie, 3 to win it in walk-off fashion as the Gateway Grizzlies lead the opening game of this wraparound 4-game weekend set 4-2. And the Freedom down to their final 3 outs. All 3 of those next on the Freedom Broadcasting Network.
Your Freedom is down 2. It's time for our Freedom Rally. We can use to make some noise. fireworks Friday. Make sure you're sticking around for fireworks. But those fireworks are so much sweeter with Freedom Land. One more time, let's hear it. And cheer on for freedom! This game of Grizzlies typically brought to you by Santa. Now, Heinrich and Erlander, all for the Grizzlies. Number 45, Grant Black, with that. Now, the and stepping to the plate for your freedom. Number 2, Andre Mercurio.
Well, here we go. We move to the bottom of the ninth inning, a 2-run game. The Gateway Grizzlies lead at 4-2. The Freedom will send their 4, 5, 6 hitter to the plate. Mercurio, Lopez, Pintor to face Grant Black, the Gateway Grizzlies closer, who is not a fan of the Florence Freedom. In 2 innings this season, Grant Black has allowed 3 runs to this Freedom team. He has blown a save and taken a loss in his first 2 appearances against this Freedom team. And you wonder if that's not at the forefront of his mind as he toes the slab with a 2-run cushion here in the bottom of the ninth, but facing part of the heart of the Freedom order. First pitch on the way to Mercurio. Fastball's across on the outside edge, 0-1.
And this isn't like football where you can kill the clock, with the last 2 minutes in the game. You have to throw the ball. You have 3 outs to work with here, and so the Freedom are going to be patient, but they're also going to be aggressive at the same time. So really interested to see what they do here.
The 0-1 on the way to Mercurio, too far inside and in and out of the mitt of Zach Taylor behind the plate. 1-1 will now be the count to tonight's DH, Mercurio. Phil Warren has gotten tremendous work from his relievers tonight, and he got a tremendous version of Lucas Lanfear at the start. The starter's final line tonight, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. But in 2 innings since in relief, Jason Seaver and Dakota Smith tallying 4 strikeouts and no hits. Fastball is fouled off to the third base side. Will make the count 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mercurio. Nobody out, just underway in the bottom of the ninth. It all comes down to this.
Good thing, too, Mercurio's a good 2-strike hitter as well. Can inside out a ball. Any way we can get him on base, if at all possible, would be huge.
Freedom looking for their first base hit in a long time. 91-mile-an-hour heater is going to miss too far in for ball 2 as the count runs even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was a triple from Luis Pintor back in the 4th inning. That was also the last run-scoring hit for the Freedom. Their other 2 base knocks in this game, both in the 1st inning. Another run-scoring frame. 2-2s, tap towards second. Charging in is Andrew Daniel, who will glove it. Send a quick throw to first as Mercurio was hustling, but it's in plenty of time for out number 1.
And I really wish that ball took one more hop right before Daniel was crashing in on it at second base, really having to force him to make a play and get a hard transition from the glove to his hand, but got 2 outs now to work with.
Caleb Lopez comes to the plate next. 1 base runner, then 1 swing of the bat could tie this game up. Grant Black set at the belt, and a fastball is offered at, sent out a play off to the right side as Lopez falls behind 0-1. Here are the numbers for Grant Black on the season, not just his numbers against the Freedom, but all year. A 2.41 ERA. He is 0-2 for whatever that matters. He has spanned 18 2/3 innings. This is his 19th appearance. He does have 7 saves. Opponent's hitting .239 against this hard-throwing right-hander who pounds the outside Black with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball to jump ahead of Lopez 0-2 here. So really, it's just been the Freedom that have been his nemesis. A lot of good numbers, a lot of good stats across his line, facing everybody else on the Frontier League. All right, he's always from the stretch and on the first base side of the rubber. The 0-2 on the way to Caleb nearly hits him. That's not a fun one to wear at 91 on the radar gun. First ball, it's 1-2.
No, not a fun ball to wear at all. And most of the time, too, when you get an inside pitch like that in this kind of game, they usually tell you to turn on it. But in that case, he did the right thing backing up because that could have been a nasty injury right on the elbow.
Black gets a quick sign from Zach Taylor. Here's the 1-2. Excuse me. Geez, so Pete's breaking ball misses down and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the usual 3-hole. Tonight, 5-hole, Caleb Lopez. Lopez 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored tonight. 2-2 on the way. Line smash towards the power alley in left center field. This is a BB, and it's going to one hop off the wall. Lopez will coast into second with a stand-up double. And the Freedom will send the tying run to the plate in the form of Luis Pintor as Lopez comes through and is standing at second with 1 out.
Uh-oh. That's all I have to say. That was huge. Getting finally their first hit since the 4th inning after that Luis Pintor triple. This will be a great chance, especially for Pintor to really kind of regroup and regather himself after that strikeout looking in the 7th inning. So this is a good opportunity. Like I said, once again, if you can find a hole, it doesn't have to hit it in the air. You can find a bleeder. You can have a ball that has eyes going through the infield, but good opportunity here for the Freedom.
Finally, a line drive from Lopez that doesn't end up in somebody's mitt.
Yeah, that too.
Happy for the guy. Goodness, he unloaded on that one, but to the wrong part of the park, deep in the power alley in left center. Luis Pintor in the box now. Black set just above the belt. Hikes the leg and will go first pitch fastball. Pintor was ready. He fouls it straight back to the screen, but does fall behind 0-1.
What's really interesting, too, what I just noticed, Phil Warren, I don't know if it was him or not, but he just shifted his center fielder and his second baseman over at the last minute as he was in the middle of pitching in the stretch. So I guess they think Pintor's going to smash him over to the right side. Kind of
for whatever it's worth, both innings in which the Freedom have gotten a hit tonight were run-scoring innings. See if that continues. The 0-1 is the breaking ball. Pintor way out in front, fouls it off. Behind home plate, and the count now 0-2.
I think Pintor needs to take a little bit off of his swing. I don't think he needs to swing so hard. I think he just needs to choke up a little bit. Don't change your approach, but don't try to swing for the fences right here. Just put the ball in play. Good things will happen. Just try and barrel one up.
Put a good swing on a ball earlier. Before the Lopez double, it was this guy with the last Freedom hit, an RBI triple. His first 3-bagger of the season. Grant Black ahead 0-2. Readies and fires. Too tall. 1-2.
Now, that was a good waste pitch by Grant Black right there. High and inside. Little chin music, too, to kind of brush him off the plate. Still has 3 balls to give, but I think Pintor should set up for lone away right now.
Yeah, I still thinking a 1-2 count after showing the fastball. Grant Black's going to go back to the off speed here.
Yep.
And it might not be in the strike zone. Righty does get the sign. He sets and fires the 1-2. It's a breaking ball, and he beams him. Pintor will be awarded first base, and that's the kind of pitch to wear.
Yes.
Not the 93-mile-an-hour fastball,
Yes.
but the 81-mile-an-hour bender. And runners are at first and second. Wouldn't you know it, Austin Wobrock, who was the hero yesterday in the 7th inning, represents the walk-off winning run as he steps in the box. Runners at first and second in a 4-2 game, the Freedom Trail, bottom 9.
Now, here's the interesting thing. He can blow a save right here. If Wobrock finds a gap here, we have 2 speedy guys on the base paths. He's hitting .293 with runners in scoring position, has 14 runs that he has driven in so far on the 2019 campaign. Definition of a clutch hitter.
Wobrock is 0 for 3 tonight, but a good time to change that. Fastball well spotted on the Black, if not a little bit off, but it will be called a strike. 0-1.
You're going to see Wobrock adjust to that, though. He knows that that call is going to be a strike now. He's just going to have to put his hands on it and find it off to the left side.
Black gets the one he wants. Sets above the belt, staring at second where Lopez is standing. Here's the 0-1 to Wobrock. Runners take off. It's a hit and run, a line smash, but foul off the netting on the third base side. A good idea and tremendous contact. Wobrock couldn't keep it fair.
I'm going to be honest with you, too. If he didn't swing at that, yes, probably would have been a strike. But I think Lopez had that beat. As soon as he turned his head, Black turned his head towards the home plate, he took off. And that's one thing you pick up on in the dugout when you're not even batting. You pick up on these little signs from these pitchers, giving 1 look, 2 looks, a little too close for comfort. But Wobrock likes to scoot up a little bit close to that plate But obviously he has a good eye of where the strike zone is. But still, anything close to you with 2 strikes, you got to be hacking.
Foul tipped and into the mitt of Zach Taylor. Wobrock down on strikes.
No, there's no way.
Dennis Pelfrey adamant the catcher Zach Taylor did not squeeze it, but Joe Harris is going to punch him out. So that will be the second out of the frame. Wobrock down on strikes. Run.
Jackson Pritchard.
If there's been one guy to have a flair for the dramatic all season, it's been this guy.
First $5 gameplay is on us this year at David Foster's.
If you guys can let us know, please, in the chat, if you can still hear us, that'd be great. For some reason, our video has cut out. If you can hear us, someone, can you please just send us a message in the YouTube chat? That would be excellent. If not, we can try and reboot this as fast as possible. Jackson Pritchard up to bat.
Grant Black will take a trip to the rosin bag. Pick it up, bounce it a couple times, and slam it right back behind the mound. He's ready to go to war with Jackson Pritchard.
Okay, we do have confirmation that for some reason both our work and video is just choppy, they say, but it looks like it's cut out on our end. As long as you all can hear us, that is good. So they said the video has cut off, but they can hear us.
First pitch on the way to Pritchard. He turns.
No way!
Hits the ball.
Get out!
Deep left field. This one's back. And this one's gone. The Freedom walk-off. 5-4 as Jackson Pritchard unloads on a Grant Black fastball. It's a 1-run Freedom victory in the bottom of the ninth.
Wow! Unbelievable, Aaron! Let's go! Oh my goodness gracious!
Holy Moses! Jackson Pritchard on the first pitch he sees. He still has a flair for the dramatic.
Wow! And Grant Black is upset once again.
Now 2 losses and a blown save, and this one will be both.
Of course, as soon as the video goes out too.
Still have the audio.
Still have the audio.
Still have the audio.
Oh
and my goodness, I'm full of goosebumps.
Me too.
Jackson Pritchard pinch hitting for Ryan Rinsky gets the one pitch he was looking for and unloads to left field. A 3-run shot, a walk-off winner. And the Freedom will have a chance to push themselves one step closer to a series victory in tomorrow's middle game. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable with a great turnout here at UC Health Stadium, and what a great way to carry this momentum and go into the game tomorrow. Oh my goodness, I'm just speechless right now.
5-4, your final score. We're going to step aside for a brief moment, a fitting end on Fireworks Friday at UC Health Stadium. Jackson Pritchard with some fireworks of his own. Back to recap this walk-off winner next on the Freedom Broadcasting Network.
065. Fireworks coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Make sure you make plans to do it effective tomorrow night. Cisco got first take where it is 1 game for free. Take on 8 viewers, please. Game 2. We've got fireworks coming up. That's it. Elite Vortex presented by McDonald's coming up here in just a few minutes. Freedom Fans. On behalf of these ones great on the front here in the back here, I'm just Joe Jacobs. Have a great night, everyone. Get home safe. Freedom Fans. We're going to the fireworks. Celebrating fireworks tonight. We can wait for our players to clear the bullpen and make sure we get sick and then we get some fireworks. Just a few updates for you. The Freedom are back home tomorrow night. There'll be 4 later tomorrow night and And then some days, I'm thinking some cases of other bases, there's a player autograph section where all the players on concourse autographs. That's a radio super day. And it's up to me on Sunday at 5:35. So come back out, here's some of the season. So you may not know, you figure out 23 and 12. That's it for first place in the Frontier League. That's right, and you have the first place in the Frontier. So far this season. If you want to open playoffs, forget another season. The Tigers going to away the Warriors past the 4-9 game, and get safe, and then we can set them off.
Welcome back inside the broadcast booth here at UC Health Stadium. Boy, what an opening game of this 4-game wraparound weekend set between your Florence Freedom and the Gateway Grizzlies. The result of the game, a 5-4 walk-off winner. Jackson Pritchard pinch hitting for Ryan Rinsky in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs and 2 men on. Unloads on a first pitch fastball. He gets some Grant Black. A line drive homer, no doubt about it, to left field. A 3-run shot that gave the Freedom the 5-4 one-run victory over the Grizzlies. Again, answering the bell late, rallying late to steal a victory here tonight, Rob.
No, absolutely. And as you're about to hear here in the distance, fireworks, and what a better way to end the night, especially after another series win. You know, Freedom are only 2-7 when trailing after the 7th inning. And then, what do you know, pinch hitter, clutch. He's done it before. He did it against Southern Illinois. I mean, just absolute clutch. Jackson Pritchard. I was trying to look at the video because it looked like our video went down, but our viewers said that everything was okay. I was looking at it, and then all of a sudden, I heard crack. And then I literally just look up, and I'm just, oh, my goodness, this is actually happening right now. And he did it again. He absolutely did it again. Great job, and a good call by Dennis Pelfrey. Pelfrey always knows the right tools and how he utilizes his tools being his players, obviously. Just a great job all around, a full team effort.
The Freedom now 23-12, 11 games above 500, regardless of what happens with the Southern Illinois Miners, who were losing earlier. We will always close the broadcast taking a look at the Frontier League scoreboard, but it does not matter for one more night, regardless of what the Miners do in their series opener with the Schaumburg Boomers. The Freedom will take the field tomorrow in first place in the West Division standings. Boy, what an outstanding performance tonight, mainly late. From the pitching staff, it was really throughout the entire course of the game. A couple of starters on both ends, both got quality starts. But the winning pitcher tonight for the Florence Freedom, Hayden Wheeler, who improves to 1-0. And with the nasty strikeout stuff, the southpaw who just signed with Freedom while they were in O'Fallon, Missouri, taking on the River City Rascals, punches out 3 more tonight in 2 innings of work. Moves to 1-0 on the season. Grant Black, the man the Florence Freedom have put it to time and time again here in 2019, again will shoulder the loss. Coming in looking for his 8th save of the season. That would be the most individual saves for anybody in the Frontier League. He's one of the game's best, but the Freedom have his number. He's 0-3, 2 of those losses to the Florence Freedom this season. Tonight's game played in 3 hours and 10 minutes on the nose from 7:04 to 10:14. Never did get the official attendance tonight. Maybe we'll have it by the end of the broadcast. Game time temperatures tonight were 77 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, and a whole lot of fireworks right now. And from Jackson Pritchard, a 3-run shot in the bottom of the 9th after a Caleb Lopez 1-out double that, to give him credit, started the rally, started the belief. They got that first base runner on. Luis Pintor came up next, wore a pitch, made it first and second. Austin Wolbrock struck out to bring the Freedom down to their final out, and it was Jackson Pritchard again. It was Pritchard against Gateway the last time, also Grant Black. Before Isaac Bernard got the run-scoring base knock that plated Pritchard and tied the game up at 2. It was Jackson who was down to his final strike that started the rally that night in Gateway, and he finishes the rally tonight. His 3rd home run of the season, a big fly to left field that gave the Freedom the 5-4 walk-off victory. The Freedom did start the scoring again tonight, scoring 1 on 2 hits in their first inning of work. Isaac Bernard getting the single, stealing second. He would move to 3rd on a fly out from Tyler Reichenborn before Ricky Ramirez Jr. plated his 13th run of the season, continuing his torrid stretch with an RBI single. Gateway would tie it up in the top of the 3rd. They got a single from Luke Lowry, and after an error from shortstop Austin Wolbrock a couple of batters later, the Gateway Grizzlies tied the game, scoring an unearned run as the score moved stalemated at 1 apiece. It would be the Freedom again to take the next lead. They would score in the 4th inning. A Caleb Lopez walk bled into a Luis Pintor RBI triple. It was again the Freedom in front, this time 2-1. But then it was all Gateway until the 9th. The Grizzlies would score 2 runs in the top of the 6th, getting a ground rule double from Sean Dunston Jr. before back-to-back singles. The last from Jamie Smart, an RBI knock, before Matt Brown plated their 2nd run in the frame. A couple batters later with a single of his own. Gateway would add 1 more run of insurance in the 8th inning, getting a walk and a Zach Taylor RBI single before the Freedom rallied for the 3-run shot from Jackson Pritchard, tonight's hero and a hero more than one time this season. Pritchard does it again in the clutch moments. A no doubt about it blast. A 1-run victory for the Freedom. We always will. We'll close this broadcast taking C as the grand finale unloads. Good thing the internet is forever closed. We'll let the grand finale take shape before we go to the Frontier League scoreboard here. Well done. Well done. It's all Schaumburg. In game 1 with the Southern Illinois Miners, 7-3. The Boomers doing the Freedom a favor, trying to snap that 8-game winning streak for Southern Thunderbolts, 9-2. Still some time, but late stages, bottom 7 in that all East Division matchup there. The River City Rascals were trailing early. I talked about how the Freedom really could have put them in a funk with the way they won a pair of games yesterday to steal the series, but maybe I was wrong. River City off the mat. They have tied the game with Joliet 5-5 in the bottom of the 8th. Only one other final score besides ours tonight, and it's the Evansville Otters losing to the Lake Erie Crushers 7-3 in Avon, Ohio at Springer Stadium. And that will complete our look at tonight's Frontier League scoreboard. Final comments from you, Rob, on the game we just...
Like football, you can't just kill the clock. 2 minutes left in the game, and you're out of timeouts. It's the great thing about baseball because you play 27 outs for a reason. Anything can happen at any given time. It doesn't matter if it's the Freedom, doesn't matter if it's the Grizzlies, doesn't matter if it's the Boomers, it doesn't matter any team. It really doesn't matter. And when you have guys that you can just throw in there and get a job done and you trust them to do that, it's just so gratifying, not only for Dennis Pelfrey, but for the Freedom fans, the organization. It's like a family. And it's really just goes to show the meaning behind this team and what they're doing so far in 2019.
We've called him Rocky all season. What did Rocky always do? He wore heavy blows throughout the majority of the fights. He would wear all the best punches from guys like Clubber Lang, Ivan Drago, Tommy Gunn, Apollo Creed, but he would always be there in the 15th round, still standing, still swinging, and he would land the final blow. And that is exactly how Florence Freedom have played baseball all season. That has proven to be a winning brand as they again move to 23-12 and will remain atop the West Division standings regardless of what happens at Boomer Stadium. Despite the fact Schaumburg is doing the Freedom a favor, they could be alone in first place tomorrow. Regardless of what happens in that game, they will still be in first place in the West when we throw out the first pitch tomorrow in Game 2 of this 4-game weekend wraparound series with the Gateway Grizzlies. Will be underway tomorrow at 6:05. We could have Mixler back in the fold. They are still not operational. We will be right back on YouTube with the live stream beginning at 5:50 here at UC Health Stadium tomorrow. Signing off, a 5-4 victory tonight, winning in walk-off fashion. Jackson Pritchard, the hero, and the Freedom will look to move one step closer to a series victory in Game 2 tomorrow at 6:05. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday night, everybody, and we'll see you back at the ballpark on Saturday.